station of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
In Arizona, the month of March is the busy season for baseball. Cactus League play in full swing. Another beautiful day here in the Valley of the Sun. We're in Scottsdale, where today the D-backs host the Oakland A's. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers. Good afternoon from Salt River Fields at Talking Stick, and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume, Bob Brenly along the way. So far, a very encouraging spring training for the Diamondbacks. The starting rotation 2 times through has looked very promising. And Bob, Shelby Miller is leading the pack.
Yeah, Shelby Miller really having an outstanding spring. We were a little concerned with his mechanics, given the problems he went through last year. That doesn't seem to be a problem. His mental attitude has been tremendous. As a matter of fact, the entire starting rotation has been very good. Granted, it's early in camp. A 4-1 record with an ERA under 2.5, and Shelby's pacing the way.
With the exception of Zach Greinke, who starts tomorrow against Team Mexico here, this will be every starter third time around. At what point do you start looking to go a little deeper into ball games?
Today. I mean, the first couple starts, you just want to get your legs underneath you, get the butterflies out, and make sure your mechanics are solid. And then with each successive outing, you try to throw more pitches, get deeper into the ball game. And there's no question we need the starters to get deeper in the game this year.
And pitching at the top of the menu here today, it's Shelby Miller against the A's, Sonny Gray. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona from Salt River Fields is back after this. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Gila River Casinos. Experience winning like you've never imagined at Gila River Casinos, Lone Butte, Wild Horse Pass, and the Cueva. By Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call the Law Tigers, Arizona's motorcycle lawyers. And by Ram Trucks. Hurry in and get a great deal during Ram Truck Month. On Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Toyota dealers. Visit your local Valley Toyota dealer or shop online. Toyota, let's go places. By Northern Arizona University. At NAU, we see possibility in every direction. By Tire Pros, everything rotates around you. And by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford. Well, a big couple of days coming up here at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. Zach Greinke pitches here tomorrow against Team Mexico. Today, it's Shelby Miller trying to continue his red-hot spring against the Oakland A's. First pitch coming up next. Beautiful day here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Steve Berthune, Bob Brentley along the way. The Diamondbacks at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick hosting Bob Melvin's Oakland A's, who have played very well lately. The A's have won 3 of their last 4 Cactus League games, but Oakland has scored only 37 runs this spring, tied with the Astros for the fewest runs in the major leagues. And hopefully Shelby Miller, Bob, will be able to put up another 0 in his 3 to 5 innings of work today.
Yeah, all depending on pitch count. We'll see how long Shelby pitches in this ball game. Sonny Gray on the other side of the field on about the same program as Shelby Miller. So both guys looking forward to maybe 4 innings in the ball game today, depending on pitch count. You mentioned the A's playing better lately. They dropped their first 2 Cactus League games, but have played much better baseball lately. Bob Melvin kind of putting this ball club together, something he has to do every spring.
First of 3 meetings this spring between the Diamondbacks and the Athletics. And here is the lineup for Bob Melvin's Oakland A's today.
Rajai Davis waiting in the on-deck circle. He'll lead it off and play center field for the A's. Jed Lowry at second base. Matt Joyce will be out in right field, with Valley product Chris Davis in left field. Trevor Plouffe, the former Minnesota Twin, down at third base. Yonder Alonso at first base. Marcus Semien at shortstop. Josh Fegley doing the catching. And Jake Smolinski serving as a designated hitter.
Yeah, the A's today sending over from Mesa just about their regular starting lineup. So the A's very well represented here as the Diamondbacks take the field. And it's right-hander Shelby Miller on the mound. Boy, he has been electric through his first 2 Cactus League starts. 5 innings, only 4 hits allowed without a walk. He's had 9 strikeouts, the most in the Cactus League so far.
Against 0 walks, which is very impressive. You think back to last year at this time, and Shelby Miller was having at least 1, sometimes 2 side sessions between Cactus League outings, just trying to get his mechanics ironed out. This spring, he seems very comfortable. To use an overworked cliche, the ball seems to be coming out of his hand well.
And hoping to erase those numbers he saw from last season. He looks very much on course to do that. Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks around Shelby Miller today. Our eye on defense for the D-backs, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Gregor Blanco getting the nod in center field today. He'll be flanked by Jeremy Hazelbaker in left and David Peralta in right field. The infield on the left side will be Jake Lamb and Nick Ahmed. Brandon Drury and Jason Pridey on the right side. Chris Iannetta doing the catching today for right-hander Shelby Miller.
And no Paul Goldschmidt in the lineup for the Diamondbacks. He's playing first base for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Daniel Descalso not here as well. He's starting today for Team Italy. Brian Gorman has the plate. He'll call the balls and strikes. The base umpires will rotate inning per inning as they see fit. That's Trip Gibson, Chris Siegel, and Roberto Ortiz. Well, the one thing you've seen so far is Rajai Davis gets set to lead it off for the A's from Shelby Miller. The velocity, that's been off the charts. Shelby attacking with fastballs, throwing strikes. He had a start here against the Cubs last Thursday, was consistently clocked at 97 miles an hour, got as high as 99.
Yeah, hitters call it easy gas, too. I mentioned his mechanics are very solid this spring. He's not really overthinking his mechanics, and that allows him just to focus on letting that ball go and hitting his spots.
The veteran Rajai Davis, now 36 years old and back with Oakland for his second stint. Coming off a career year in Cleveland last season for the AL pennant winners. He'll lead it off for Bob Melvin's Oakland A's. Just a couple of wisps of cloud, bright blue skies overhead. Very warm, comfortable, almost no wind at all here in Scottsdale, Arizona. The Diamondbacks and the Oakland A's. And we are underway with ball 1 to Rajai Davis. Davis last year led the American League with 43 stolen bases. Now in his 12th major league season, just about a .270 career hitter. This is in play for Miller, who pounces on it. Friday has the low throw, 1 away.
Good guy to keep off the bases right there. Rajai Davis, as you mentioned, a base stealing threat. I tried to get Bob Melvin signs. My former bench coach wouldn't divulge his signs. He says we don't do anything anyway. Unless Davis gets on, he might run. Everybody else is just up there to swing the bats.
So there's only one guy that has a sign then. Everybody else just ad lib. Jed Lowry, the second baseman. .263 last year. Played in just under 90 games. Couple of home runs. There's a strike and it's 0-1. Lowry, another injury-riddled season. Was on the DL in May with a right shin bruise. In August had to be shut down with a bunion on his left foot. Wound up on the 60-day DL. Didn't play a game last year after August 3rd. Shelby ahead 0-2. Lowry's second season with Oakland, his second stint with the A's after previous stops in Boston and Houston. Chris Iannetta behind the plate today. This is driven down the left field line. And a nice running grab by Jeremy Hazelbaker in left field into the bullpen fence out there.
Ball was struck well by Lowry right down that left field line. Hazelbaker got a really good jump from his straightaway position in left field. Took one quick peek to see where the fence and warning track were and decides he can run that one down in the corner. Makes a real nice running catch.
Now the D-backs will put the shift on for the left-hand batting Matt Joyce, the right fielder today. Nick Ahmed will stay put at shortstop. Lamb moves over to the second base side. The numbers on Matt Joyce with the Pittsburgh Pirates last year: 242 and 13 home runs. He's got some power. A free agent deal with the A's, 2 years, $11 million. This is in the air, well hit to deep center field. Blanco at the track. He's at the wall. He leaps. And he's got it. Gregor Blanco with a tremendous catch against the wall in center field. Both Hazelbaker and Blanco auditioning for outfield spots this spring. Hazelbaker with a beauty, Blanco with a gem. D-backs coming up. He'll lead it off in the bottom of the first for the Diamondbacks against right-hander Sonny Gray. One of the American League's most outstanding pitchers in 2014 and 15, but you see the numbers last year, a disappointment. He fought through some injury issues. 5-11 in 22 starts, an ERA of 5.69.
Yeah, really struggled down the stretch at the end of the season. ERA was nearly 7.5 in the second half of the season. This guy's got great stuff on it. Multiple variety of pitches: fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. He'll cut his fastball. He'll sink his fastball. This guy has been at least rumored to be a trade target for just about everybody in baseball.
He is a top shelf pitcher. There's no doubt about that. Those guys are hard to find. Gregor Blanco, a minor league deal with the Diamondbacks in January. He'll lead it off against Sonny Gray. Trevor Plouffe is in on the grass at third. There's strike one. Been a little bit of a slow start offensively for Blanco. 1 for 15 at the plate in Cactus League play. And he's down 0-2. That's a rocket. Fair ball down the right field line. Matt Joyce picks it up in the corner. Blanco takes the turn and heads for third. And he's in there. Not a bad start so far, Bob, for Gregor Blanco here today.
Well, you just mentioned he's had a slow spring up to this point, but a ringing line drive down into the right field corner. Maybe snap him out of that Cactus League slump. That ball was really struck well. Joyce had some issues down in that right field corner, and Blanco took one peek and decided to go for three. You can see the relay setting up behind him there as he rounded the base, easily in at third.
David Peralta now. David batting in the 2-hole today. Ball one. And a pair of hits and RBIs, and the Diamondbacks went over the Royals yesterday in surprise. His numbers from last season: 251 and 4 homers. Those numbers greatly watered down, of course. David's season virtually washed out by injuries. Nagging pain in his right wrist when he was in there. Limited to fewer than 50 games. Finally had to have surgery on that right wrist. And so had to be very patient in the offseason not to do too much. Really didn't start hitting until almost the middle of January.
We had David on the air our first telecast last week, and he said that the wrist feels great. I even asked him about it, knowing that wrist and hand injuries are usually tougher to come back from, but he said he feels great. Hasn't been prohibited from participating in any of the drills, be it offensive or defensive. Definitely need this guy on the field.
And you know, he wanted to get in the World Baseball Classic mix for Team Venezuela, but he had to attend to his health first, of course, and the commitment to the Diamondbacks, get that wrist ready to go for 2017. Blanco at third, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one kicks away from Fegley. Here comes Blanco. A strikeout and a wild pitch, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks.
It's about as productive an out as you'll ever see. A swing and miss at a breaking ball in the dirt that gets away from Fegley. That allows Blanco to streak home from third base, and David Peralta hustles on down to first. Diamondbacks still have it cooking here. Nobody out.
And the batter is Brandon Drury. Brandon 5 for 18 on the spring. Drury, a very solid rookie season offensively. Defensively, he was shoved into the outfield where he never played before. So a big change for Brandon this year, coming in with his defensive focus on second base, and that's bound to help the offense as well. Well, I remember at Chase Field, Bob, those last 2 exhibition games we played against the Royals. AJ had that elbow snap in the first one. And then prior to the second game, the last spring game of the year, there was Dave McKay in the outfield with Chris Owings and Brandon Drury. Those 2 guys getting a crash course in outfield play, and Brandon had to spend most of the season in left field.
And like most guys that are forced out of their comfort zone, forced to play a new position, Brandon was very tentative in left field, played very deep, made sure to keep the ball in front of him, got to most of the balls he should get to, but had to feel very, very strange for Brandon Drury. I mean, he's a completely different animal when you put him on that infield dirt. He's an aggressive defender, can throw off balance, variety of arm angles.
And if you see him standing there, he is noticeably leaner. He dropped another 10 pounds in the offseason, trying to get light and stay quick to play second base. He is trimmed down, that's for sure. Jake Lamb on deck. There goes Peralta. Got a good jump. Fegley's throw. That's ball 4. So the Diamondbacks, a run already in. They'll have 2 on for Jake Lamb. Let's take a look at the A's defensively around Sonny Gray. That's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
Davis and Joyce, the law firm to help you if you have a DUI. Plouffe, Simeon, Lowry, and Alonso left, or third to first rather, across the infield with Josh Fegley behind the plate and Sonny Gray on the mound.
So an RBI chance for the red-hot Jake Lamb. Jake's had a big spring, 6 for 12. A home run he's knocked in 4. Last season, 29 home runs and 91 RBIs. Peralta is the runner at second and Drury at first. Hard hit and into right. Tony Perez-Chico waves Peralta home, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks. Another RBI for Jake Lamb, his 5th this spring.
A breaking ball down and in, right in Jake Lamb's happy zone. He hits it hard to the right side. Yonder Alonso was breaking to the bag at first. I think the A's had a pickoff attempt on down there at first base from the catcher Josh Begley, and as Alonso was moving to his left to go to the bag, that ball was hit right past him on the right side for an RBI knock.
Seventh hit this spring for Jake. Here's the DH today, Ketel Marte. One of the candidates for the shortstop job. Came over from Seattle in the offseason in the Gene Segura deal. And he looks at ball 1. Marte 2 for 15 on the spring. His numbers last year in Seattle. 259 with a home run. He did steal 11 bases as well. This is a very intriguing young player, only 23 years old. Terrific athlete and switch hitter. This is a rocket hit deep to right field, and that ball is gone. Ketel Marte, a 3-run homer, and just like that, it's 5-0 Diamondbacks.
Get much more efficient than that. 5 batters to the plate. All 5 have scored, including 3 on this blast off the bat of Ketel Marte, and no doubter to right field. Matt Joyce barely moved out there in right field. The fans on the berm, however, make a nice play.
Yeah, you could hear the sound off the bat. That sounded good. So the first 5 Diamondbacks to face Sonny Gray have reached. They have all scored. Still no outs. Here's Jeremy Hazelbaker, the left fielder today. Ketel Marte, a player to watch this spring. Hazelbaker trying to win a reserve outfield job. His numbers last year in St. Louis. 235 and 12 home runs. 0-2. Boy, Sonny Gray sure looked good in his first start this spring for the Oakland A's. Went 2 innings, gave up only 1 hit, had 4 strikeouts, but this one has gone south quickly.
Yeah, we're almost getting to that point of spring training where you'll hear some pitchers talk about dead arm.
Oh yeah.
Not an injury. It's not pain. It just feels like there's nothing there when you try to throw the baseball. And so far in this game, Sonny Gray's made a lot of mistakes up in the zone. His slider appears to be flat. He's thrown a couple of good curveballs, but he's also left a couple of them in that happy zone down and in.
Now that dead arm period usually lasts about a week or so, somewhere in the middle of spring training.
Yeah, and it's not a technical medical term, but if you go around every camp in Major League Baseball and talk to the pitchers, they'll tell you that at some point, usually 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks into camp, they bump up against what they call a dead arm. The ball just doesn't seem to go where they want it to go. It doesn't have the same kind of movement. They might lose a little bit of velocity, and as I mentioned, no pain, no injury. It's just kind of a syndrome that every pitcher goes through in camp, and then they come out the other side and their arm strength is there. The pitch count starts to climb up, but for a couple of outings in spring training, you just got to go out there and wear it.
Hazelbaker hits the 3-2 foul. Well, Sonny Gray fought injuries last year, not that he's hurt this spring certainly. So that was the reason he only made 22 starts. Had to go on the DL last May with a strained right trapezius muscle. He was back pretty quickly from that, but then returned to the DL in August with a right forearm strain. And he was able to pitch for Bob Melvin only twice over the final 2 months last year. You're right. Every year, Bob Melvin has to reshuffle the deck of cards in Oakland and see what he can come up with. Another 3-2 to Hazelbaker. Ball 4. Second walk issued by Sonny Gray.
Yeah, obviously I'm a little biased. I'm a big Bob Melvin fan. He was my bench coach here in Arizona. We were teammates with the San Francisco Giants, but Bob Melvin managing the A's is like Michelangelo painting your bathroom. You know, he just needs a team. He just needs some talented players that he can groom and mold them into a team that has a chance to compete in that American League West. But every year it's a rebuilding situation once again for the A's, and Bob Melvin just hasn't been given a lot of ammunition to go out and compete.
Kurt Young pays Sonny Gray a visit, and here's a former Oakland A, Jason Pridey, who's playing first base today with Goldie off at the WBC. Pridey did not play baseball last year. You see his career numbers: 216, 5 homers. His last big league action was 6 games with Oakland. That was in the 2015 season. So far 3 for 13 this spring with the Diamondbacks. He does have a home run. Jason Pridey from Prescott. Drafted out of Prescott High School by Tampa Bay. Second round pick in 2002. 1-1. And he's been well traveled around the baseball universe. He spent time with the Rays, the Twins, the Mets, the A's, the Phillies, the Orioles, the Rockies, the A's again, and now the Diamondbacks. Yonder Alonso at first. They get the force on Hazelbaker, and they're able to turn 2.
I was hoping for some indecision there on the part of Yonder Alonso. That was kind of a tweener. He could have very easily gone to the bag at first for the force out, but then that's a tag play at second base once he makes the throw. So he wisely went 3-6 to get the force out at second base, and then was quick enough to get back to the bag and cover to complete the double play.
Alonso, former San Diego Padre, his second season with the A's. Here's the shortstop, Nick Ahmed. Nick last year, 218, 4 home runs. Limited to only 90 games with that nagging hip problem. It was a right hip impingement that eventually required surgery for Nick. Didn't play a game after July 22nd last year. It's been a revolving door at the shortstop spot for Torey Lovullo this spring. We've seen Nick Ahmed and we've seen Chris Owings and Ketel Marte sort of rotate through. Everybody getting as many looks as they can. But with the way that Owings is hitting, and with the possibilities that Ketel Marte brings to the table, Nick Ahmed, Bob, has some real competition here.
Well, that's why we have spring training. There is always going to be a spot or two on that roster that's open for competition, and Torey Lovullo basically has thrown that position wide open. Whoever shows me the most and brings the most to the table is the guy that's going to win the job.
Nick went after that one and strikes out. The inning finally ends for Sonny Gray, but the Diamondbacks get 5. It started with a Blanco triple. The highlight, Ketel Marte, his first home run this spring. After 1, it's 5-0 Diamondbacks.
The second inning. Let's take a look at today's key to the game. And for Shelby Miller and the rest of the Diamondbacks pitching staff, it's time to start to stretch it out a little bit, run up that pitch count, get a little bit deeper into the ball game. As I mentioned in the open, that was a real issue for the D-back starters last year. Keys, as always, brought to you by your Valley Honda dealers.
Chris Davis, the cleanup man, takes strike one from Shelby Miller. What a year it was for Davis out of Deer Valley High School in Glendale. 42 homers, 102 RBIs after coming over from the Milwaukee Brewers. It's always a nice power threat when he was with the Brew Crew, Bob, but boy, 42 homers for Chris last year. What a season.
I think he started to look to hit more home runs, to hit for more power, get a little more lift in his swing. You'll watch that front foot, his left foot, as he strides into the pitch. It goes a little bit down that third baseline. He's looking for something middle of the plate in. He can lift in the air. He had great success doing it last year.
Not a terribly imposing guy at 5'10", 195, but Mark Trumbo and Nelson Cruz, the only players in the majors last year who hit more home runs than Chris Davis. This is chopped to third for Jake Lamb. 4 up, 4 down for Shelby.
You know, I've said it a couple times already on the telecast that the starters for the D-backs need to find a way to get deeper into ball games, especially early in the season. If you put too much stress on that bullpen early in the year, we saw last season what can happen when you have to get 6 or 7 innings out of your bullpen nearly every night. Eventually those guys are working on vapors. Your offense feels like they've got to score 20 runs to win a ball game. So the length of the starters early in the season, I think, is going to be a big key for the Diamondbacks.
Another strike one from Shelby Miller to Trevor Plouffe, the former Minnesota Twin. There's Mike Butcher on the left there, the pitching coach. Trevor Plouffe, his first season with the A's after 7 years in Minnesota. Signed a 1-year free agent deal in January. He's hit safely in each of his last 3 Cactus League games. D-backs rotation has been perhaps the most encouraging part of the spring so far. And Shelby has been leading the pack, as we talked about in the opening, has looked terrific. Diamondback starters come into today 4-1 with a 2.45 ERA through their first 11 starts.
Well, we talked a lot about the Diamondbacks catchers. You see Chris Iannetta, as he gets outside that ball, he's pushing it back toward the middle of the plate as he catches it. We've talked a lot about pitch framing this spring, and that's something that Chris brings to the table, that ability to make those borderline pitches look a little bit better. Even though he didn't get the call on that one, it was a nice job.
And Chris had very good pitch framing numbers a couple of years ago. The numbers in terms of the defensive metrics dropped a bit last year in Seattle. He discovered that he was holding that glove a little too high as a target and kept having to go down a bit to get it, and that skewed his analytics just a bit. He misses on the 3-2 to Plouffe, first base runner for the A's. That'll bring up Yonder Alonso.
First walk of the spring for Shelby Miller, and it's small consolation, but he wasn't missing by much. The one pitch we showed you that Chris Iannetta tried to frame an outside delivery, and then that last one down near the bottom of the strike zone. A different home plate umpire, it might have been a different at bat.
Brian Gorman wasn't biting. Here's Alonso now. 253 and 7 homers, his first season with the A's last year, following 4 years in San Diego. And again, the Diamondbacks overload the right-hand side. Interesting to see how the Diamondbacks will arrange the personnel when they do go into the overshift. You can see Jake Lamb closer to first base. Brandon Drury's in his normal second base spot. This is hit in the air, deep right field. David Peralta on the run. He won't get there, and it one hops the wall. And Yonder Alonso He hit his first home run this spring last Friday off the Giants' Jeff Samardzija. That was in Mesa. He just missed another home run right there.
And David Peralta had to be shading over into the gap in right center because this ball is in the air forever. Hit it a mile high down that right field line, and David Peralta's on his horse as hard as he can go, but just can't quite get there in time. That went up and over the fence for a book rule double.
Power hitting shortstop Marcus Semien up there for the A's. Second and third, one out. Semien coming off a big offensive year in Oakland. 27 homers. He knocked in 75 runs. 3 for 15 with a homer on the spring so far. Now the Diamondbacks shift defensively to the third base side. Brandon Drury playing on the shortstop side of second. You see Nick Ahmed back on the grass at shortstop and Lamb on the line at third.
Yeah, of course, there are no secrets for a hitter. He can look out there and just out of his peripheral vision see where the defense is playing. And when Brandon Drury moved over on the shortstop side of second, it looked to me like Marcus Semien was trying to shoot that ball through the right side.
Now Brandon moves over to the first base side of the second base bag. That's foul, and it's 1-2. Got to be careful with Semien. Nice power bat from the shortstop spot. He's hit 42 home runs in his last 2 years with Oakland. The issue has been the defense. A lot of errors at shortstop. Shelby ahead of ball and 2 strikes. Base hit. Knocks it into right. Plouffe will score. They'll stop Alonso at third, and the A's are on the board. It's 5-1.
I mentioned it a moment ago. It looked like Semien was trying to hit the ball that direction the entire at bat. That's where the hole in the defense was, and ultimately got a pitch up and out over the plate. And clean line drive into right field brings home the first run of the game for the A's.
The batter is the catcher, Josh Phegley. .256 with a homer last year. Only played in 26 games. Spent the entire season last year battling a right knee problem. Phegley's third season with the A's, played his first 2 years in the big leagues with the Chicago White Sox. Alonso the runner at third and Semien at first. Phegley was a White Sox first-round pick out of Indiana University. Oakland picked him up along with Marcus Semien in that deal that sent Jeff Samardzija from the A's to the White Sox. That was prior to the 2015 season. Semien takes off. Here's the throw from Iannetta. Ahmed had to knock it down. This will allow Alonso to score the second Oakland run. That one almost went into center field.
And Nick Ahmed saves 90 feet right here. Throw to second base on the first base side of the bag, and you see that's actually Brandon Drury that had to range far to his left just to knock that ball down and keep the runner Semien at second base. But Alonso able to trot home from third base. I assume that'll be an error on the catcher.
0-2 count on Phegley. Nick Ahmed calls for that one, and that's the second out. Here's the DH, Jake Smolinski now. Smolinski just under 100 games last year, 238, 7 homers. Smolinski just got going for the A's this spring. He's been bothered by a right shoulder injury throughout Cactus League play. He's 0 for 2 in the spring so far. One and one. Shelby Miller's first start this spring encouraging. 2 innings against the Rockies in the Cactus League opener. 29 pitches in that start, 23 for strikes. And then dominant against the Cubs here last Thursday night. 3 scoreless innings. Gave up only 1 hit, had 6 strikeouts.
I just threw that 94-mile-an-hour heater right by Smolinski, up and out over the plate. Usually a fastball that's very hittable, but Smolinski well laid on that one.
Shelby in that start against Chicago last week retired the final 8 batters he faced, and he closed his outing with 5 consecutive strikeouts. He's between 97 and 99 with a fastball. This one will drop into left center field and score Simeon. It rolls all the way to the wall. Blanco plays it out, and Smolinski has an RBI double.
And once again, this is why you have spring training, a rolling slider that just hangs there in the middle of the plate. That's a pitch, especially when you're ahead in the count, you'd like to work it on that outer third of the plate and sweep it out of the strike zone, maybe get a swing and a miss or some weak contact, but that time Shelby left it over the middle of the plate, and Smolinski with an RBI double.
Now get Mike Butcher out from the Diamondback dugout.
I mentioned it on our last telecast. As a manager and as a coaching staff, you like to see guys put in tough situations here in spring training, and it's really beneficial for the catchers as well. Chris Iannetta might be the first time he's seen Shelby Miller with runners on base. What does he like to throw when he's trying to get out of a jam? What does he like to throw when he needs a strikeout? What pitch does he go to when he's looking for a ground ball? So even though you don't like to see a team bounce back off the mat the way the A's have in this ball game, you like to put Shelby in some of those situations just so his teammates and his coaching staff can be familiar with him.
Rajai Davis 0 for 1 so far. 3 runs in for the A's. Smolinski at second and 2 outs. There's Rajai Davis coming off a career year in Cleveland last season. Career high 12 homers. The biggest home run though came in Game 7 of last year's World Series against the Cubs. That 2-run homer off of Aroldis Chapman in the 8th inning that tied the game at 6. What a series that was. What a Game 7. You thought when Davis hit that homer, you know what? Cubs might actually blow this. But they got that 10-minute rain delay, and that seemed to change everything.
And the Cubs insist that was the difference. Went back into the clubhouse. They were able to gather as a unit in the weight room and talk about what was left in front of them here, and went back out on the field and ended up winning the ball game. But had it not been for that 10-minute rain delay,
you wonder.
Who knows?
Yeah. Cleveland fans will certainly always wonder. Davis now back with the A's at the age of 36. Fastball misses up high, and it's 1-2. Here's a tapper to third. Lamb charges, throws him out. Shelby Miller out of the second inning, but the A's get 3. Bottom 2 coming up. Diamondbacks lead Oakland 5-3. The Diamondbacks lead the A's 5-3, and I think we have our special guest star set to go down to the D-backs dugout. It's A.J. Pollock. Can you hear us?
Yes. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you? That's the question we want the answer to.
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, it's awesome. Having fun.
Seriously, 27 minutes up Camelback? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions about Camelback. So hopefully I can give more to people to talk about than what I do exercise-wise. So, but yeah, I enjoy doing stuff like that and getting outside. The weather here is amazing, and I enjoy doing it.
Did you drag any of your teammates up Camelback?
I've gone a bunch of times, but I actually saw Jake Barrett going up there. So
really? Jake dropped a bunch of weight this spring.
I know, he looks good. I think Camelback had something to do with that.
Now that was the Echo side, right?
Oh yeah, Echo side.
It takes me 27 minutes to get out of my car when I go do that. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I mean, my wife is a little competitive, and she kind of beat me by a little bit. So I think she's the one that kind of drags me up there. And I was told not to lose to a girl, but
well,
she's pretty good at that, and it happens. So can't really go too much faster than that.
AJ, can you contrast this spring with last spring? Every day it was, okay, we need an AJ Pollock elbow update. This spring, whole new story, right?
Yeah, last year was frustrating. You get the media on you. Everyone wants to know when you're going to play, and you're trying to figure out when you can play because you want to get out there too. So this year's been very drama-free out there. Taking all the batting practice, all the reps in the outfield, and just feel very fortunate to be able to go out there and feel really good doing it.
Yeah, what a relief. We don't want any drama in spring training.
No, never do.
Chris Iannetta, the catcher, batting ninth against Sonny Gray. A.J. Pollock joins us.
Yeah, and given the fact you are healthy and playing well this spring, is there anything specifically you're working on, A.J.? I know, pitchers try to strengthen their arm and lengthen their pitch count as camp goes on. Is there anything specifically you're working on?
Yeah. It's kind of a day-to-day thing, but I obviously just swinging at good pitches. For me that's huge. I'll put myself into certain counts and certain mindsets throughout a game, and really just trying to get my approach down. Obviously you want to go out there and smoke 3 or 4 balls, but sometimes it's just as good just to get out there and have a good approach. Or maybe you're just going to sit on a slider because the guy's a good slider guy, or maybe you're going to do something else. But to stick with it and not stray away from that. I've done that a couple times, and it's you're definitely trying to do some things, work on some stuff, and spring training, there's a lot of at-bats, there's a lot of time to do that, so I'm trying to take advantage of that.
Nice at bat there by Chris Iannetta, a leadoff walk, the third walk issued by Sonny Gray. What about that, AJ? See, it's a longer spring with the World Baseball Classic, but I've noticed that guys like you or maybe Jake Lamb, you're out there more every third or fourth day than every other day. Is that accurate? Are you a little slow playing it a bit this spring?
We've been every other day, yeah. So I don't think I've had 2 days off. played 2 in a row already when we had that split squad, but it's been every other day. Yeah, I mean, still getting plenty of at bats. You know, we'll definitely no need to rush things. I think we got some time, but yeah, you know, we'll see. I'm Tori's the guy that calls the shot, so you know, I'm sure when we get closer, we'll start ramping it up a little bit, getting more at bats, getting more consistent at bats. So yeah, that's, you know, there's a lot of stuff you just got to focus on in spring because it's not quite the same thing. You're not, you know, playing every single day, and you're not, you know, you're not getting that consistency. But yeah, it's so far so good, and yeah.
There's Gregor Blanco. Alonso has that at first. That'll get Iannetta to third. Do you care where you hit in the lineup? Because as we look at the possible lineup construction here, AJ, there's not a prototypical leadoff hitter. You know, Bob and I have always talked about, you know, if AJ Pollock's in the middle of the order, he might be a 100 RBI guy. If he's the leadoff man, he could be a 40-50 stolen base guy. Which do you prefer?
Whatever the team wants. Honestly, that's pretty much. Yeah, I've been in all different types. I don't know who's doing that. You know, it's got to be probably guessing Robbie. He's not really Steve. Yeah, you know, the different times. You know, a team calls for, you know, you to be in the leadoff spot. I've hit 2, I've hit 3. I actually have 4 or 5. I think I have hit every spot in the order. So, it's just different opportunities. Really, your mindset's the same, and you know, if you're in the 3 or 4 spot, you're going to get more opportunities to, you know, have guy in second and third, no outs. But you know, in the leadoff spot, you get opportunities to score a lot of runs. So it's, you know, it's a very stat-driven game. But you know, if that's what the team calls for, me being in the leadoff spot, then you know, that's what I'm going to do. And you know, whatever they want to do, I'm going to look forward to it.
Now, AJ, we don't want you to give away any state secrets here, but all the teams in the National League West train here in the Cactus League. Do you pay special attention to pitchers that you face from the Dodgers and the Rockies and the Giants? Or, you know, do you just try to, as you said, work a quality at bat, see a lot of pitches, and do your job? That one gets away. Should be a run. It is.
6-3 as Iannetta scores.
Yeah, I can't even see what's going on.
Yeah, do you do anything differently against teams that you know you're going to face a lot during the regular season?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I definitely pay attention to guys that I know. You know, you have to hear from someone, hey, this might be one of their guys in the pen, someone you don't know. It's tough, too, because when you face certain guys and you're very used to them and they're working on a pitch that you're never going to see, you know, so so it really kind of have to kind of put it in its place. But yeah, when there's a guy out there that I think that's going to be on the team, and you know, we all talk about it too, that hey, you know, this is you got to tune in on, because you know, he could be up this year and you know, he could play a big part of their team. So I think it is good to pay attention to those guys. But as far as the guys I face every single day, I faced them 10, 15 times in my career. There's a lot of video out there. I don't know how much stock I would put into it, because you never know if they're going to, you know, working you a little differently because they don't want to give away something, or they're going to throw a pitch to you a bunch of times and not in season. So it's definitely a paying attention, but you know, with the guys you face a lot, maybe you know, just kind of work a good at bat and stick with what you're doing.
Here's Brandon Drury now. We talked to center fielder AJ Pollock. This is bounced in the hole and through. A base hit for Brandon Drury. AJ, how's it been with Torey Lovullo? Have you had a chance to sit down yet and have a couple of chats, some phone calls in the offseason? How's that been?
Yeah, he's been great. He's been, you know, his communication's awesome. You know, I've had a bunch of one-on-ones with him, and you know, it's been awesome getting to know him in the first couple weeks here of spring. So it's a lot of fun. You know, great message he had, you know, for our team in the beginning, and you know, we've had a really good focus so far. So, and that's a lot to do with what, you know, how Torey's been.
Here's Jake Lamb, who's had an RBI single and scored his first time up. I know I had a quick chance to ask you this a couple of weeks ago, but it was another, obviously, 5th ring for Tom Brady and the Patriots. We're all celebrating America's team, America's quarterback. I know you were there again, right, with Super Bowl, you and your wife?
Oh yeah, we were there. It was quite the game.
Well, AJ grew up in Connecticut, a big Pats fan. Did you think that after Tommy threw that pick 6 that was it? It wasn't going to happen?
Oh, never. Come on. You kidding me? No chance. I mean, I thought it was a long shot, but, I mean, it's Tom Brady, so, you know, he's never out of the game. Wasn't looking too good, but he's definitely, if not the best, he's definitely up there.
1-1 now on Jake Lamb. Well, AJ, thanks so much for your time. I know you're nervous about getting hit by a foul ball.
Yeah, they usually have me looking where I actually get to watch the game too, but I'm just staring at a camera right now.
We want to focus
awkward.
on you, that's why. But
right.
Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
AJ Pollock, good to have him back in full health this spring. 2-1 now on Jake Lamb with Drury at first.
I asked him that question about facing pitchers that he might see during the course of the regular season in the National League West. And I asked that because my first spring with the San Francisco Giants in big league camp, Frank Robinson came over and said, where's your notebook? What notebook, sir? Well, the notebook of all the opposing pitchers. I said, I don't have one. Well, you better start one, because you're going to see some guys down here in spring training that you're going to see during the regular season, and any edge you can gain is going to work in your favor. So I began to do that very early on in my big league career. I just wondered if AJ was one of those guys that needed to write things down, or can he just store it up there in his gray matter?
Well, it's been a rough outing for Sonny Gray. That's his 4th base on balls. And here's Ketel Marte, who launched a 3-run homer out of here to right field his first time up. D-backs lead it 6-3. 5 in the first. Now 1 more in here in the second. Two on and 2 out. Another base hit for Marte. Tony Perez-Chica will send Brandon Drury home. The throw is cut off. Marte is picked off, rounding around first, but the run comes in, makes it 7-3. 4 RBIs for Ketel Marte. We'll head to the third. D-backs lead the A's 7-3. Top of the third, Shelby Miller back out there, and we're joined now by another member of this promising D-backs rotation. It's the new guy, Taijuan Walker. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great watching you pitch, because boy, you have been locked in. How are things going so far?
Yeah, real good. Working on some new stuff, and everything's been feeling really comfortable so far.
Is the new stuff the slider? I've heard you talk a lot about that. I've read something about it. How's the slider coming along?
It's been really good. I've been feeling more comfortable with it, more confident in it. And it's been helping out. They've had a lot of righties that I've been facing, so I've been able to throw it a lot more.
Jed Lowry will lead off the third against Shelby Miller. We're joined by new D-back starter Taijuan Walker. Taijuan, were you surprised when you heard about the trade to Arizona? How did that go down for you?
Yeah, just a little bit, I think, just because, it was the day before Thanksgiving, and, I don't think anyone was really expecting any trades or anything to happen. And, I feel like usually you can go on Twitter and maybe hear some talk about a trade possibly happening. I feel like it kind of just came out of nowhere. So I was just a little shocked for a couple of days.
Well, boy, you look like you've fit right in here. 2 appearances so far this spring, 5 scoreless innings, only 3 hits and 5 strikeouts. Here's a little roller over the mound for the shortstop, Nick Ahmed, and there's one out. They retire Lowry. You certainly look comfortable here.
Yeah, I mean, everything's been great. You know, everyone's been really awesome. You know, very welcoming. You know, and you know, I feel really comfortable. You know, just coming in here, just talking with all the guys, and you know, I actually really feel like I've been here for a long time.
Taijuan, on a lighter note, now that you're in the National League, you're going to get up there and swing that bat a little bit. I'm checking your stats here. 1 for 9 lifetime. How would you rate yourself as a hitter?
I mean, I feel like 1 for 9 is decent for a guy who never hits, I guess. And it's a double too, so
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but yeah, you know, I'm pretty excited to hit. I say that now, you know, just because people always tell me, you know, you get excited at first, and then once you're pitching, you know, kind of just get a little tired just from swinging the bat and stuff.
Now, talk to us about the number 99. How did you end up with 99?
I don't know. It's just one of those, I guess, number that just kind of popped in my head, and I guess I just stuck with it.
It works.
It does, yeah.
I mean, you're a big dude out there, 6'4", 235. The 99, it's like you're a rush end on the defensive line.
Yeah, I like it. I'm comfortable with it. You know, it's funny because I've been trying to get 44 for a long time, and last year was the first year, you know, I was able to get it, and then I ended up getting traded here, and you know, I feel like I'm never going to be 44 again because Goldschmidt's going to be here forever.
Yeah, this is a wrong spot for 44.
It definitely is. So I feel like 99. You know, I don't think anyone's going to be 99. Hopefully not. So.
Now, tell me, how did you get through last season in Seattle? 25 starts, just about 135 innings, and at the end of the year, they pulled 10 bone spurs out of your ankle. Yeah. How did you get through that season last year with all those bone chips floating around your foot?
Yeah, it was definitely tough, but you know, I just wanted to go out there every 5th day and you know, try to go out there and compete and you know, help the team win and just kind of you know, go out there and eat some innings as much as I could. But you know, it definitely was painful. It definitely wasn't fun, but you know, I think just being a competitor, you know, I just really wanted to go out there and pitch every 5th day.
Yeah, one of the most important relationships any pitcher can have is with his pitching coach. How have you settled in with Mike Butcher in your short time here?
It's been great. You know, the other thing I've been working on is my mechanics, and you know, Butch has been really good with that. You know, he's been giving me some key points to focus on, and I feel like it's been really helpful.
Here's Chris Davis after the walk to Matt Joyce. We're joined by Taijuan Walker, Diamondbacks starter. Taijuan, when you get traded, do you get, I assume at some point you get on the phone with the new front office here, headed to your new team. Do they tell you why they wanted you in the first place? I mean, what's that conversation like?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, they were really excited. I mean, they traded away some really, really good pieces to get me. So, you know, it definitely makes me feel good that, you know, they really wanted me that bad. You know, Gene Segura was an all-star last year and led the NL in hits. So, you know, just being involved in that trade with, you know, that type of talent, you know, it just really makes me feel good that, you know, this team, like the Diamondbacks, really wanted me.
Shelby Miller 0-2 on Chris Davis. Now you're scheduled to pitch on Friday against the Brewers. I think, BB, we have that game on TV, I believe, so we'll get to see Taijuan pitch in our next TV game. What are you looking for from the next start as things progress? A little deeper into the game? What type of things are you working on right now other than that slider?
Yeah, I've been working on the two-seam a little bit, so probably mix that in a little bit more. You know, and it's been tough. You know, my last start, you know, the White Sox were real aggressive, swinging early and, you know, putting the ball early in count, so I really didn't get to mixing my curveball or my changeup too much, so I definitely want to mix those in.
And then in Seattle last year, he had a chance to work with your pitching coach, our buddy out there, Mel Stottlemyre Jr. And I had read where he had you turn a little bit more toward third base. So you've got a little more deception, a little more hip turn in that windup. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, that was the goal, and you know, I just kept hammering throughout the offseason. And once I got here, you know, talked with Butcher, and you know, we really been hammering it a lot. And you know, it's just feeling really comfortable. And you know, I think that's the biggest thing, just feeling comfortable with my mechanics and with myself.
Well, it's great to have you here. We're thrilled that Taijuan Walker is a Diamondback, and Taijuan will see you pitch on TV Friday against the Brewers. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, Brandon Drury a little shaken up on that stolen base by Matt Joyce. Ryan DePanfilo, the assistant trainers out there. He got one in a bad area.
Yeah, I mean, he does his job. Just keep the ball in the infield. You don't want to let that get through into the outfield and allow that runner to advance 90 more feet. But, oh, that's a tough way to knock a ball down.
2-2 count on Chris Davis. Our thanks to Taijuan Walker.
Of course, your teammates are always laughing at you because they've been there, done that before, and they understand that it's going to pass. It may take a few moments, but it will pass, and you will be okay.
There's Sory Lovello, the new skipper, out to check on his second baseman, Brandon Drury. Have a lot of Diamondback games on TV for you this week. We're on television tomorrow on Fox Sports Arizona. And if you can't make it out to the ballpark at Salt River Fields at Talking Sticks, supposed to be a beautiful day, watch Zach Greinke pitch against Team Mexico. So we hope to see you here at the ballpark. If not, then we'll be on the TV side. Thursday, the Diamondbacks are in Glendale to take on the White Sox. Patrick Corbin will pitch in that game. That is not on TV, but we're on TV today, TV tomorrow. Then again Friday and Saturday. Friday, Taijuan Walker takes on Milwaukee. And then Saturday, Robbie Ray pitches here against the Giants. So BB, 4 TV games for you this week.
Yeah, work.
Yeah, nothing but work.
Yeah, that game against Team Mexico tomorrow, that'll be a lot of fun. I mean, granted, it's spring training. The Diamondbacks just doing what they have to do to get their work in. Ideally, you score some runs and win a ball game, but Team Mexico's got something to play for. They're going to come in here with fire in their eyes tomorrow.
Been watching some of those World Baseball Classic games that just got underway. Watched a lot of games from the Korean venue. Team Israel doing well. They're already the underdog. Zach Bornstein, the Diamondback farmhand, playing for that ball club. Davis looks at strike 3. That's the first strikeout today for Shelby Miller. And it's the second out here in the third.
Now, did you have to set a wake-up call to watch that game in the middle of the night or something?
Well, I had to make an airport run. I had a buddy in town, and of course he had like a 5 a.m. flight. So there I am up at 4:30 in the morning driving him to the airport. I come back and there's live baseball on TV. I'll watch a little bit of this. Sure. And it was a 1-1 game in the 8th, 9th inning, and it just kept going. And I wanted to see Zach at his at-bats. Trevor Plouffe, the third baseman, takes strike 1. Boy, Shelby Miller, 7 pitches in a 1-2-3 first inning. And then 27 pitches in what turned out to be a 3-run Oakland second. Now trying to work around that 1-out walk to Matt Joyce in the third. Shelby now at 50 pitches. Diamondback bullpen is quiet so far. Plouffe walked and scored his first time up. Shelby so far has walked 2, struck out 1. A's have 3 runs on 3 hits. That's up the middle, another hit. This will score Joyce, and it's a 7-4 ball game. The RBI single for Trevor Plouffe.
We talked earlier about putting pitchers in situations that they're going to see during the regular season and hope they find a way to get out of the jam. That time, fastball outer third of the plate, driven right back up the middle of the field. That's where you'd really like to see that third out. Keep that runner at second base, keep the runner off the plate, get your team back in the dugout, but he's able to come up with a 2-out base hit to drive home a run.
Yonder Alonso doubled and scored his first time up, the A's first baseman. Boy, Alonso's had a very good spring. He's already walked 4 times. A double today. He's 3 for 10 on the spring. And his Cactus League on base percentage is over .460.
When I first saw Yonder Alonso as a member of the Cincinnati Reds, I thought this guy was going to win some batting titles, and he might still win some batting titles before his career is all over. But I think he hit .330 his first full season in the major league, spraying the ball all over the ballpark. The issue with the Reds was they had Joey Votto at first base, so Yonder Alonso made his way out to left field, much like Brandon Drury did for the Diamondbacks. And It was an adventure for Yonder out there in left field. Has found his way back into the infield here with the A's, where he's much more comfortable.
He's a first baseman in San Diego, hit 9 home runs as a rookie, and that's still his career high. He's had some very troubling injuries last couple of years. Finally healthy and played the full season for the A's last year. Interesting to see in this defensive alignment. We've mentioned that when the Diamondbacks put the overshift on against a left-hand hitter, they're mixing up who plays where. Now, right now, you've got the third baseman, Jake Lamb, close to the second base bag, and the second baseman, Brandon Drury, out there in short right. Now, earlier, it was Lamb who was standing where Brandon Drury standing right now, and Drury was in his normal second base spot. 2-1 to Alonso. Every time we played the Dodgers last year, Justin Turner, who was the third baseman, he would go over to the overshift and play close to the first base bag. And that way you'd only have one guy technically out of position. And Torey Lovullo says they're still sort of mixing up who's going to play where when they put the overshift on.
I imagine some of this has to do with the pitcher on the mound. What kind of command does he have? Is he likely to hit his spots and make the hitter hit the ball where we want him to? Certainly the spray charts in the past, where has Alonso hit the ball in the past. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why Jake and Brandon today are alternating who plays in that I-back position.
I like that. It's good work. Yeah, there's Jake Lamb in the second base spot. Drury playing short right. Ahmed all by himself on the left-hand side. Full count, 3-2 to Yonder Alonso. 2 outs. Trevor Plouffe will be off of the pitch from first. Here goes Plouffe, and Alonso hits it right through that shift. Plouffe will get third base. And the inning continues. Tyler Jones, the right-hander, the Rule 5 pick, is warming up with the Diamondback bullpen, with Shelby approaching 60 pitches.
Hit hard just past Jake Lamb, a step and a dive. It's shot through into right field, and I think that's probably going to do it for Shelby Miller today. A lot of pitches in that second inning.
Shelby has walked 2, struck out 1. He's given up 4 runs on 5 hits, and today he will go 2 2/3. Throwing just under 60 pitches. Tyler Jones coming in back after this. For the first time ever, D-backs opening day will be held on a Sunday afternoon. Secure your tickets now for the D-backs and Giants. The season opener at Chase Field, April 2nd. Get the best seats for opening day at the lowest price with a mini plan purchase. Visit dbacks.com for tickets and all the info. New pitcher is the right-hander Tyler Jones. Having some fun out there on the berm. There's Tyler Jones, Rule 5 pick taken by the Diamondbacks from the New York Yankees. Very good numbers at AA Trenton last year in the Yankees system. And he'll work to the shortstop, Marcus Semien. With Trevor Plouffe at third, Yonder Alonso at first, and 2 outs. 1 run is in. Semien had an RBI single, a stolen base, and a run scored his first time up. It's 1-0. We were up in Peoria over the weekend watching Tyler Jones pitch against the Padres, and Chris Iannetta was the catcher in that ball game. Chris is back there today, and he had all kinds of problems with Tyler Jones. He has several wild pitches in that game. A bunch of balls got by Chris, and Tyler Jones has got stuff that moves. And this one will get up, and it's hit deep to the left field corner. It's off the wall. He just missed a home run. Plouffe jogs home. Alonso, late getting to third, will be waved home. The throw is offline. Semien's in at third. Missed a home run by about a foot out there. He'll settle for the 2 RBI hit.
It looked like that ball was out of here off the bat. Got a pitch on the inside part of the plate and down, barreled it up to left field. Jeremy Hazelbaker goes over to give it a look in the corner. He even quit on it. I think he thought it might be out of the ballpark, but it hits the fence and stayed in. That little bobble right there cost the Diamondbacks a run.
The A's are back within 1, tying run at third with 2 outs. And here's the catcher, Josh Phegley, popped up his first time up. Scored a double for Semien, takes third on the throw. 2 RBI, so he's knocked in 3 today. Tyler Jones behind on Phegley, 2 balls and no strikes with Jake Smolinski on deck. Tyler Jones, according to the Rule 5 regulations, will have to remain on the D-backs big league roster all year or be returned to the Yankees. He's a pretty hard thrower, very good fastball slider combo. 67 strikeouts in 45 innings at AA last year. Trenton. Went the whole season, pitched to a 2.17 ERA. This is on a plane. It's 2-2.
Yeah, Jones, a big, tall guy out there on the mound. He doesn't take full advantage of that height. A lot of big, tall pitchers like that really get some downward plane on their deliveries to home plate. Occasionally Jones will get underneath the ball a little bit, kind of flattens out in the hitting zone. When he stands tall on that rubber and really gets the ball going downhill, that's when he's at his most effective.
He's a big guy out there, 6'4", 240. Worked in relief at AA Trenton last year, had 11 saves. Full count on Phegley, 3-2. Got him. Called strike 3, says Brian Gorman, and that ends the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the third. D-backs lead the A's 7-6.
game, 13 runs already. We're in the 3rd inning. Buckle up, folks. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch out-of-market regular season games, spring training games, and the World Baseball Classic live on over 400 supported devices. Visit dbacks.com/TV.
7-6 D-backs. Jeremy Hazelbaker will lead off the bottom of the 3rd against the new Oakland pitcher. It's the right-hander Chris Smith. Last season, 13 games for the A's, a 2.92 ERA. That had been his first major league action since 2010 when he was with Milwaukee. He spent most of last year at AAA Nashville in the A's system. Hazelbaker walked his first time up. D-backs have been out hit 6-5, but they lead at 7-6. Ketel Marte, a 3-run homer, part of a 5-run Diamondbacks first against Sonny Gray, who went only 2 innings today. Sonny got knocked around a bit. Gave up 7 runs, 5 hits. He walked 4. That missed inside, and it's 2-1. Hazelbaker 3 for 18 at the plate so far this spring. Trying to win a reserve outfield job. Made a nice running catch in the corner in left field earlier in the ball game. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. One of the many left-hand bats being given a look by the Diamondbacks in spring training. And what you like about Hazelbaker, he can play all 3 outfield spots. Did that for the Cardinals last year. Hard to first. Yonder Alonso smothers that one away. That'll bring up Jason Pridey. Pridey hit into a double play his first time up. Jason out of Prescott High School. He spent nearly 15 years in professional baseball, but he's played a total of only 133 big league games in his career. And almost all of those with the Mets. That was back in 2011.
Left-handed bat with some power. Teams are usually looking for some thunder off the bench. The extra players, that one to catch Fegley on the side of the mask there on the backswing, but you know, Pridey, a guy that can play that corner infield spot over there at first base, swings a left-handed bat, gets some loft in his swing. Valuable member for some teams to have that left-handed bat off the bench late.
And with both Paul Goldschmidt and Daniel Descalso playing in the World Baseball Classic, Pridey figures to get plenty of time over there. We'll see Chris Herman at first as well while Goldie's gone. 2 down for Nick Ahmed, who struck out his first time.
I imagine Torey Lovullo had to tell Brandon Drury today, listen, you're hitting third, but don't get too accustomed to it. We've got a guy we like in that 3 spot, but he's not here.
Well, they do want to find a consistent replacement at first base for Goldie, because Torey Lovullo is committed to getting Goldie more off days. Now, we've heard that before. That was a priority for Chip Hale, but you look up and Goldie's played just about every day. But Torey said he did sit down with Goldie and said, look, it's going to be a semi-regular thing. It's just, that's just smart. That's the smart thing to do. And you figure with Chris Herman down there, they pretty much got first base covered, but Descalso can play first as well. And Pridey's a contender.
Jake Lamb moved over there from time to time last year, so there's some candidates to fill in for Goldie should Torey Lovullo be able to talk him into an off day.
Emphasis is should.
Easier said than done. I mean, every manager loves that attitude. You want your players to want to be on the field every day. They want to do something to help the team win. But the reality of Major League Baseball, because of the long season and the long spring training this year with the WBC, it's a grind. Physically and mentally, it can get to be a grind. And a day off here or there sometimes works wonders for a guy.
And even with that, you're still talking somewhere between ideally 150 and 155 starts or so for Goldie.
And, you know, I say it all the time, when you've got Goldie on the bench, that's a heck of a secret weapon to have available late in the ball game. You get into a situation where perhaps the tying or go-ahead runner on base and pitcher spot is due up. Yeah, I've got a guy sitting in here that I could send up to pinch hit. great weapon to have on the bench.
Archie Bradley starting to get it cranked up down in the Diamondback bullpen. The 3-2 to Ahmed is lifted high first base side. Matt Joyce is under it. And that's the inning. So Chris Smith comes in, a 1-2-3 third. D-backs lead the A's 7-6. Fields at Talking Stick here in Scottsdale. Diamondbacks and A's. Hey fans, tonight it's a showdown West versus East as your Phoenix Suns host the Washington Wizards. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Suns Live right here on Fox Sports Arizona and also streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tyler Jones, the right-hander, back out there for the Diamondbacks as we start the fourth. Jake Smolinski, the DH, will lead it off for the A's. Jones on in relief of Shelby Miller. Shelby went 2 2/3 today.
Yeah, speaking of the Suns, congratulations in order to our good buddy Al McCoy. Got his
the Ring of Honor.
Up in the Ring of Honor. Yeah,
that's a big deal. Hard to imagine Suns basketball without Al McCoy.
Absolutely. Well deserved. Stops by the ballpark several times over the course of the season. He's a big baseball fan.
He's over there a lot. High in the air, drifting out to left field is Nick Ahmed, and he's got it one away. So quickly out number one for Tyler Jones. And that'll bring up Rajai Davis. Mike Hazen, the D-backs GM, has talked about Tyler Jones and how the front office really had its eye on Tyler Jones because they were all in Boston. Tyler Jones pitching in the Yankees farm system. And the Diamondbacks had their scouts out there as well, and they had clocked Tyler Jones, consistent 94-97 with his fastball. Davis 0 for 2 so far. And Jones had an excellent second half of the year in AA in the Yankee system. This is a guy with a good power arm. They wanted to get into the mix here as they try and build a bullpen. In fact, Tyler Jones at AA last year, over his final 25 2/3 innings, gave up only 1 run. So the Diamondbacks believe he may be a late bloomer. He was 26 years old last year. Spent the whole season at AA. He's now 27. Pitched collegiately at LSU, Tyler Jones, an 11th round pick by the Twins back in 2011.
May have mentioned this already. He led the Eastern League in 2016 with 13.2 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's a pretty impressive number at any level.
You love those guys that you can bring in out of your bullpen and rack up the strikeouts, keep the ball out of play.
Yeah, there are situations in the game, especially late in the game, where you need to miss bats. You know, you're not even looking for weak contact. You're looking for no contact.
Well, throughout his minor league career, the issue had been command for Tyler Jones, but Over his last 3 seasons in the minors, he's cut his walk rate in half. And at the same time, the strikeout rate has gone up and up, nearly 35%. And he strikes out Rajay Davis.
Nice slider here from Jones. Good downward action as this ball gets into the hitting zone. Bottom just falls out, gets a swing and a miss.
Now that's the pitch that Chris Iannetta had a tough time with in Peoria over the weekend. You can see why that ball really moves out of the hand of Tyler Jones. There is some sharp break to it. Pitching change. Here comes the left-hander Brian Mattis back from Scottsdale after this. Left-hander Brian Mattis, the St. Mary's High School product. Last year with the Orioles and the Cubs, a difficult season for Brian after 3 outstanding seasons pitching in the Baltimore bullpen. He's making his 3rd appearance this spring.
And this is something that's not always easy to do in spring training. Try to get your left-hander in there against a left-handed hitter, but Lowry will just slide over to the other side.
A switch hitting second baseman up there with 2 outs in the 4th. Lowry so far 0 for 2. He's flied out, grounded out.
I remember the spring I had Mike Myers, the left-handed specialist, side-arming lefty. And we tried to get him against a left-handed hitter all spring long. And every time we'd send him into the game like this, the opposing manager would send up a pinch hitter.
Lowry hacks at that one at 0-1.
You just try to put your guys in the situation that you anticipate using them during the regular season as often as you can in spring training.
Well, Mattis transitioned from starter to reliever in Baltimore. Had 3 very successful seasons in the Oriole bullpen. St. Mary's High School in Phoenix, pitched collegiately at the University of San Diego, where he was the 4th overall pick in the 08 draft. Had some injury issues last year. Last May was traded to Atlanta, was released, picked up by the Cubs. Only 1 appearance with Chicago last year and just 8 big league appearances overall. Lowry won't chase, and it's 2-2. Diamondbacks have Brian Madison here, a converted starter from the left-hand side. They also have Jorge De La Rosa, who they brought in just before camp opened, former Rockies opening day starter. This is hit high in the air, very short left field. Hazelbaker fighting the sun, still fighting the sun, and he's got it. So a 1-2-3 inning. Go the Oakland A's. D-backs lead at 7-6.
walking stick. Diamondbacks hold a 1-run lead over the A's. Hey fans, customize your own ticket pack with a D-backs mini plan. You get the best seats for the lowest prices, including lower level tickets for opening day. Series against the Cleveland Indians. The Cubs are always a big draw. The Dodgers, the Giants, many, many more. For tickets, visit dbacks.com/mini plan.
The catcher Chris Iannetta leads it off for the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 4th against the new A's pitcher. It's the veteran Ryan Madson. You see his numbers last year: 30 saves and 37 opportunities. And this is his first appearance of the spring. Just the second A's pitcher in the last decade to save at least 30 games, after Grant Balfour did it 4 years ago. Madson was 9th in the American League in saves, but tied for 2nd with those 7 blown saves. Iannetta walked and scored his first time up.
Madson, a fastball, changeup, slider pitcher. The changeup is by far his best secondary pitch and the one he uses, especially when he gets into trouble.
Chris laces one fair just by third base. Plouffe can't get it. It caroms off the wall out there, and Chris Iannetta is in at second with his second double this spring. What a day it's been so far for Gregor Blanco, the leadoff man in center field. He had this terrific catch to win the top of the first, and then a triple to lead off the home half. It's our Cox high-speed highlights.
Took away extra bases and then clubbed a triple his first at bat in the ball game.
That was just Blanco's second hit this spring. He has tripled, scored a run, and grounded out. 1 for 2 today, and 2 for 17 in Cactus League play so far. Throws bunt, gets it down. Fegley's on it. And they move Chris Iannetta along to third. That's what you like about Gregor Blanco, Bob. With all that experience, he's going to do the little things exactly right.
Things that help a team win a ball game. Move that runner from second to third with 1 out in the inning. Sets up an opportunity here for David Peralta to drive home a run without even getting a base hit. Perfectly executed bunt. Fegley the only one with a play. And they get Blanco at first, moving Iannetta up to third.
A chance for the freight train, David Peralta. He struck out in the first against Sonny Gray, but advanced to first on a wild pitch. Later came around to score. And then struck out against Gray in the second. A couple of hits and RBIs in the win over the Royals in surprise yesterday. So David 4 for 17 in spring training so far. This is a high chopper just off the edge of the glove of Alonso at first. And Iannetta scores. It's 8-6, and the freight train hustles into second. Iannetta scores as Alonso just able to get the tip of his pocket of the glove on that baseball, but it rolled into right field.
Yeah, slowed it down just enough to give the freight train an opportunity to advance 90 more feet onto second base. You'll see Matt Joyce coming into your picture there. By the time he got to the ball, David had made up his mind. He's going to try for 2. Woo-hoo.
And that's why we call him the freight train right there. The wreck of the old 97. Boy, once he gets ahead of steam around those bases, he is fun to watch.
Especially situationally, 1 out in the inning. If you can make it to second base, put yourself into scoring position for the middle of the Diamondbacks order. That's a smart, aggressive play on the part of David Peralta.
Brandon Drury has walked, singled, and scored twice, batting third today. Strike 1. Brandon this spring, 6 hits in 19 at bats. Peralta the runner at second and 1 out. Don't forget, fans, Zach Greinke on the mound here tomorrow. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Watch Zach Greinke pitch at Salt River Fields against Team Mexico, the WBC team. That's a 1:10 first pitch. We'll also have that one for you on TV right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Zach Greinke's second start this spring. Watch it live down here at the ballpark. And Bob and I have two more TV games for you later this week. Friday against the Brewers. Taijuan Walker makes the start in that ball game. And then Saturday, Robbie Ray's on the mound against the Giants. Robbie looked good yesterday against the Royals up in Surprise. Jed Lowry not quite on the bag down there at second. Boy, Brandon had a great finish to his rookie season last year. Handled all the defensive maneuvering very well. Never complained. Played everywhere they needed him to. But it seemed to affect his offense somewhat over the course of the summer. He finished up strong. Hit .365 over his final 30 games. 2-2. And the Diamondbacks really wanted things simplified for Brandon Drury this spring. They don't want him bouncing all over the place defensively. So he was told this winter, look, second base. That's where you need to focus. Second base. And Torey Lovullo has liked what he's seen so far defensively from Brandon at second. Good angles to the baseball. He's looking out there. Manson just missed. It's a full count.
And as a second baseman, you really like the way his offense profiles. Most second basemen, historically, guys that slap the ball around a little bit, maybe play a little hit and run, steal a base from time to time. But Brandon Drury more out of the Ryan Sandberg, Jeff Kent mold for second baseman. Big guy with some pop in that bat.
On the ground to Plouffe at third. Peralta holds at second. Nice backhand stab by Alonso at first to get the second out. This is a nice scoop by Yonder Alonso at first base.
Yeah, nice scoop and a nice stretch. Really had to go out to the outfield side of the bag. That's a long hop that he's able to stay with and get the out at first base. Nicely done.
Chance for a 2-out RBI for Jake Lamb. Jake has singled, walked. He scored a run. He's knocked in one. Boy, how about a spring? Jake so far 7 for 13 at the plate with 5 RBIs.
Getting back to that game against Team Mexico tomorrow, I saw a preview on TV a few days ago, and Team Mexico really likes their pitching staff. They think that's going to be their strength going into the WBC, the ability to get deep into ball game with some of their starters and some electric arms out of the bullpen.
This is hit out to right. It bounces in front of Joyce out there. Here comes Peralta being waved home. There's no throw, and it's another RBI for Jake Lamb. That's his 6th this spring. And it's 9-6 Diamondbacks.
I love that. Find a way to get him on the plate. We're not sure where Jake Lamb is going to end up in this Diamondbacks lineup, but if he continues to drive in runs, you get a feeling he's going to be down there in that 4, 5, or 6 spot, hitting behind the guys that have the high on base percentage. So this could be a regular thing for Jake Lamb moving forward. At bats with runners in scoring position.
Well, here's the man who's had the big day offensively so far. The DH, it's Ketel Marte. A home run and a single. He's knocked in 4. He absolutely barreled one up against Sonny Gray in the first. This was a no-doubter. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing cool play of the game halfway up the berm. And then he had an RBI single in the second. He's 2 for 2. Well, Ryan Madsen gets the outside strike call from Brian Gorman. 1-1 on Ketel Marte. Bounced high over the mound. Simeon at shortstop. Marte can run, but the throw is in time. Diamondbacks on the board again. We are through 4, and they lead the A's here in Scottsdale. River Fields, a talking stick on a beautiful day here in Scottsdale. Matt Joyce will lead off the top of the 5th inning against the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks. It's Archie Bradley. Archie roughed up by the Rockies in the first Cactus League game of the year. He was tagged for 5 earned on 5 hits in less than 2 innings. He was much improved in his start Thursday afternoon here against San Diego. Archie against the Padres, 3 scoreless innings, had 4 strikeouts and retired the final 8 he faced. Osvaldo Arcia takes over in right field, replacing David Peralta. That's the only defensive change. And sweet swinging Matt Joyce leads off the 5th. Joyce has flied out, walked, stolen a base, and scored a run. He's 0 for 1. Get a look at the defensive alignment against him. And once again, it's Jake Lamb, the third baseman, near the second base bag, and Brandon Drury, the second baseman, out in short right field. Torey Lovullo, in watching Archie against the Padres last week, thought he threw the ball very, very well. He liked the way Archie was aggressive out there with several pitches. It was exciting to watch, he said. It's always good when Archie, Bob, it seems, is aggressive, because oftentimes he gets himself into immediate trouble and then has to throw a million pitches.
Yeah, really has to work hard to the following hitters with guys on base, especially in close ball games. Tried to walk off that one right there, just off the outside corner. You mentioned that rough first outing for Archie against the Rockies. Hitting in a third, gave up 5 hits and 5 runs, walked a couple, but they found out the problem was balance. There was a squirrel in his beard.
I thought that was just a squirrel. And that's as you get the walk to Joyce. That's the first thing you notice, is that furry animal growing around his neck. It started with Robbie Ray, actually, near the end of last year. Robbie was sitting out there with a bunch of the pitchers and said, hey, we should all grow beards. You know, kind of a team bonding deal. Archie said, okay. And as you can see, he's worked on that thing all winter long, and it's still there.
Yeah, he says he hasn't shaved since before Thanksgiving.
I believe him. Chris Davis 0 for 2. It was the kind of thing where, you know, once you get some momentum with it, he just wanted to see where it would go. And he admits it's thick and a little annoying at times, but you know, he was funny. He said, hey, it works for guys like Dallas Keuchel and Jake Arrieta, these big beards. He figured he'd try it.
If I read right, he washes it 3 times a week. and uses some kind of moisturizing oil the rest of the time to make sure it doesn't get too dry and brittle.
It's funny, he was asked about it this spring. He said, you know, this is going to sound weird, but I get a lot of compliments from dudes. He'll get the fist pound. Hey, bro, nice beard. Joyce is back in time. He said at least once or twice a day, some random person will come up and give him a little fist bump. Hey, nice beard. Quick move over, and Joyce is back again. But Archie's been pretty funny about it. He said, look, I didn't know it was going to get this luscious. I'm not sure that's the word I would use exactly, but Archie's word was luscious.
Okay,
sure. But the focus, of course, needs to be the pitching, and you had to be encouraged with the way Archie finished last year. I mean, he went 4-1 over his final 7 starts, and there were some rough moments over the course of the year, but his finish was really solid. And we saw the velocity move back up from where it was a couple of years ago. Ahead of Chris Davis, 0-2. Archie may have saved, in fact, his best start for last season. You may recall he struck out 11 Padres without a walk, went 7 innings at Chase Field. That was October 1st. So a good way to finish up 2016 for Archie Bradley. That one was upstairs a bit, and it's 2-2. Archie really got into a rhythm in that start last Thursday here against San Diego. Settled in quickly, set down the final 8 he faced. Gets the called strike 3 from Brian Gorman, and Davis strikes out for the 2nd time today. 1 down in the 5th.
There's that fastball to the outside corner right there. Little tailing action. Iannetta started to slide his body out to the right, but reached back with the glove to hold that pitch on the corner to get the called 3rd strike. Trevor Plouffe has walked, singled, and scored twice. Came over in the offseason from the Minnesota Twins. .94 from Archie for strike 1. At Joyce at first after the leadoff walk. Who is that, Herb Washington down there at first?
You'd think. Charlie Finley's pinch runner.
Archie keeping Matt Joyce very close over there at first base. There have been a couple of attempts that were a lot closer than Joyce would have liked.
Well, Archie's in great shape. He looks really lean out there. He is in tremendous condition. Of course, he lives here, bought a home in Scottsdale, stays here in the offseason, works out at Salt River Fields. One of the big advantages Diamondbacks players have here in the Valley. This is lifted out toward Arcia in right field. He won't get there. Matt Joyce held up at second just a bit, and he's going to come all the way in. Here's the relay. Pridey cuts it off, and Trevor Plouffe is in at third. It's 9-7. Osvaldo Arcia has some power from the left-hand side, but he's never been a good defensive outfielder, and there's not a lot of range out there. But that was certainly well hit off the bat of Trevor Plouffe.
A little bit of a shallow line to go after that ball in the gap in right center. You don't expect the ball off the bat of a right-handed hitter to carry to the gap in right center the way that one did, and shot by Arcia all the way to the wall.
So Plouffe's been aboard 3 times today. That's his 5th hit this spring. And here's the first baseman, Yonder Alonso, who has doubled, singled, and scored twice. Seven runs on 7 hits for the A's. 9 runs on 8 hits for the Diamondbacks.
Been the dangerous part of the A's lineup today. Plouffe, Alonso, and Semien have 5 of the 7 hits that the A's have put on the board today, and a walk.
You know, the A's had a tough year last year. 69 and 93, the exact same record as the Diamondbacks. They finished 26 back in the AL West. But you look at this lineup that Bob Melvin can put together with Rajay Davis leading off and Jed Lowry in the 2-hole. There's some power in this Oakland lineup with Joyce and Davis and Plouffe and Semien. Those guys can all hit home runs.
You stand corrected with that RBI double by Trevor Plouffe. They now have 6 of the 7 A's hits between Plouffe, Alonso, and Semien.
2-2.
It seems like the same song and dance for Archie Bradley just about every spring if he could just command his secondary pitches a little bit better. We talked about a lot of the traffic he had on base last year. The base on balls at times were an issue. Pitch count certainly was an issue for him. And a lot of that stems from his inability to throw a breaking ball for a strike when he's behind in the count. If the hitter's up there at 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. Pitchers that are able to throw a breaking ball for a strike in those counts are usually the best pitchers in the game. Archie really struggles at times to throw his secondary pitches in the strike zone. Consequently, he's behind in the count and has to challenge with fastballs.
A little nubber to third. Ahmed is there. So that's a 6-3 putout. As he looks Plouffe back to the bag at third base, and that's the second out.
And it's not even really a fact of throwing every breaking ball for a strike, because obviously there are going to be situations where you want to bounce that breaking ball, where you want to try to lead the hitter out of the strike zone, but you just have to prove the ability to throw a breaking ball for a strike and plant that seed in the back of a hitter's mind.
And that's what hurt Archie at this time last year. He did not have a great spring last year. Began the season in Reno. Here's Semien, who's got 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Archie made only 3 big league starts in the first 2 months of last year, but showed he really didn't have anything left to prove at the minor league level. Went 5-1 in 7 starts with Reno, an ERA under 2 when he was up in the big leagues. Oh, broken bat. It drops in for a base hit. That gets Plouffe home, and it's 9-8. Marcus Semien 3 for 3. He's knocked in 4. So Oakland with 3 in the second, 3 in the third, now 2 in here in the 5th. And it's the catcher Josh Phegley who's 0 for 2. That's pulled foul. DH spot is up next for the A's. That's Jake Smolinski, but Renato Nunez is in the on-deck circle for Bob Melvin. The 0-2 from Archie Bradley. It's in the dirt. It seemed, Bob, like Archie pitched from the stretch all of last season.
It's hard to think back to a clean inning where he retired the first batter, quickly got the next two, and got back in the dugout without pitching from the stretch. So many times that leadoff man reached. He had to work so hard to get out of those innings.
Well, based on what we've seen from much of this starting rotation so far, he's in a real battle for that fifth starter spot with Braden Shipley and Patrick Corbin. If you count your first four in no particular order, as Greinke, Miller, Walker, and Ray.
Well, the more depth you have in that starting rotation, the better off you're going to be as you get into the regular season. We saw it last year with the Diamondbacks. Every team in baseball usually struggles with starting pitching depth at some point during the season. So regardless of who ends up winning that 5 spot in the rotation, it'll be nice to have a little depth, whether it's in Reno or out of the bullpen, guys that are capable of stepping in if necessary.
Up the middle, it kicks off the mound. Drury has it behind the bag, but he drops it, and everybody's safe.
Not sure Brandon would have had a play anyway if he comes up with it cleanly. He's on the shortstop side of the bag by the time he gets to that ball. He did kick it away from himself a little bit there, but no chance for Semien to advance.
Mike Butcher onto the mound. This is an important year for Archie Bradley. He's going into his 3rd big league season now, and he's at the point where he really would like to solidify himself in this rotation and be a guy who people talk about. He wants to be an all-star caliber pitcher. He wants to be a Cy Young type guy. And he believes that he's the type of person and pitcher that can do that, but it's been inconsistent. And now Jared Miller, the left-hander, will quickly get up in the Diamondback bullpen.
Yeah, consistency is the main issue. We've seen Archie really good at times, and you wonder, geez, what kind of numbers could this guy put up if he did this every time? Unfortunately, there have been those starts in between where Archie struggles with his command, struggles with his secondary pitches, struggles with pitch count early in the ball game. You just like to see that consistency of effort every time out there.
Here is Renato Nunez hitting for Jake Smolinski. Nunez, promising prospect in the A's system, last year at AAA. Just under .230 with 23 homers and 75 RBIs. He's got Semien at second and Fegley at first. This is now a 30-pitch inning for Archie Bradley. Jared Miller continues warming up for the Diamondbacks. Rajai Davis on deck. 1-2 on Renato Nunez. This has been the thing that's bitten Archie Bradley so many times. Just throwing all these pitches just really prevented him from working deep into ball games last year. Archie, 6 times in his 26 starts last season, lasted less than 5 innings. Pitch efficiency, fewer pitches, fewer base runners around him. That's been a constant battle. 2-2 on Nunez. Called strike 3, rings him up, gets his second strikeout. But the A's get 2 more runs. Diamondbacks lead is 9-8 as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Offense here today. Hey fans, there's only 26 days to go until opening day. Sunday, April 2nd, the D-backs are ready to start the season as they take on the San Francisco Giants. Coverage begins at noon with a special 1-hour D-backs live pregame show only on Fox Sports Arizona and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
D-backs with a 9-8 lead as we start the home half of the fifth inning in Scottsdale. New pitcher for Oakland, it's Ryan Dull. 70 appearances last year. He was anything but dull at 2.42 ERA. And just under 75 innings of work. He'll work to Jeremy Hazelbaker to lead off the fifth. A couple of defensive changes behind him. Jacob Brugman has come on to play left field in place of Chris Davis, and Matt Chapman takes over at third for Trevor Plouffe. Hazelbaker has walked, grounded out 0 for 1.
Almost walked into one right there, stepping up as if to bunt to the third base side, and that pitch sailed up and in. Fortunately, Jeremy able to get out of the way and get the bat out of the way.
Hazelbaker hit .235 and exactly 200 at bats with the Cardinals last year in his first look at the big leagues. He was a 28-year-old rookie. Cardinals waived him in November and he was claimed by the Diamondbacks. One and two. Hazelbaker got a lot of early season attention, had a big April with the Cardinals, hit nearly .320 with 5 homers. And then cooled off from there, hit about .210 after the All-Star break. 2-2. A 4th round pick by the Red Sox back in '09 out of Ball State in beautiful Muncie, Indiana. And Dull gets the strikeout to open up the bottom of the fifth.
Cut fastball, foul tipped right into the mid of Josh Phegley for strike 3. Ball State, that's where David Letterman went.
Yeah, the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
Jason Pridey, the first baseman, 0 for 2. How did the Fighting House Cats of Ohio end up football and basketball wise this year? Were you glued to the screen?
I wasn't exactly glued to the screen, but they went to a bowl game again. Unfortunately, they came up on the wrong end of it.
Do you remember what bowl game?
No.
Nobody does. Pridey's got a base hit, a 1-out single.
One of them. I'm still in mourning over the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yeah, what happened
Tail
there?
whipping the hands of the Clemson Tigers.
Ouch.
I don't know what happened there. They just didn't show up.
Well, that was the same for Jake Lamb and his Washington Huskies. Some of those games got out of hand quickly. Ahmed has struck out, flied out.
I'm told it was the Dollar General Bowl for Ohio University.
I can't see how you'd forget that one. I'll buy that for $1. High fly ball to center for Davis.
Yeah, Ohio State may have lost the big bowl game, but they won the big game against the dreaded blue Michigan Wolverines. Manhandled it.
Yeah, I guess it's okay. You can go 1-11, but as long as the 1 is against that school up north.
Yeah, especially since our producer went to that school up north.
The big dog, Brad Weimer, back with us this year.
I will point that out whenever possible.
As well you should. Chris Iannetta has a good day so far for Chris. He's walked, doubled, and scored twice. So he is 2 for 7 on the spring so far. A couple of doubles. Chris is a big wine guy. He's got a winery that he runs along with the former Angel Vernon Wells. He and Vernon Wells have a big winery. They turn out some really fantastic wines called Jack Winery. If you're a wine person, you can log on to the website. Just Google Jack Winery. They have little baseballs on the top of the wine bottles. It's good stuff. This is very well hit to deep center field. High off the hitter's background. Boy, that was absolutely blistered. And Friday comes all the way around. A rocket off the bat of Chris Iannetta.
Whoa. Boy, did he hit that ball hard.
Boy, that was well up the hitter's background in dead center.
Yeah, just bad location that time. I mean, an inner third fastball, and he barrels it up to straightaway center field, the deepest part of the ballpark. It's 410 out there in straightaway center. That one hit about halfway up the batter's eye. Unfortunately, in that area of the ballpark, you have to hit it over the batter's eye to get a home run.
10-8 now. D-backs lead. Iannetta 2 for 2 with a walk. A couple of doubles. Gregor Blanco, the leadoff man, tripled to lead off the ball game. And a sacrifice bunt his last time up. Shoots this one the other way, and it lands just foul. Well, you don't see a lot of balls in this park, and it's 410 to dead center here. But you don't see a lot of balls in this park hit to where Chris just hit that one.
We've seen a number of balls hit to the outfield today for both teams that would have been well out of Chase Field had we been playing downtown rather than out here at Salt River Field.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and 2 on Gregor Blanco, the former San Francisco Giant. Five seasons with the Giants. He's now 33 years old. The right-hander Ryan Dull. The fourth pitcher of the day for Bob Melvin's A's. 1-2 to Blanco. Missed upstairs, and it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Osvaldo Arcia, who took over for David Peralta in right field, is on deck. Strike 3 called by Brian Gorman. And Ryan Dull is out of the inning, but Iannetta's RBI double makes it 10-8 Diamondbacks. Net a double. Gets the 10th Diamondbacks run across. They lead the A's 10-8 as we start the 6th inning here at Salt River Field. Archie Bradley back out there for his 2nd inning of work. Couple of defensive changes behind him. Noel Lugo takes over at 3rd for Jake Lamb. He's joined over there on the first base side of the infield by Ildemaro Vargas, the new 2nd baseman, as they put the shift on. And Christopher Negron is taken over in center field for Gregor Blanco. This is Andrew Lambeau batting for Rajai Davis, former Pittsburgh Pirate farmhand. 255 of the minors last year with 4 home runs. Lambeau just 60 career games in the big leagues over parts of the last 4 years. Had only 1 major league at bat last season. His first with the A's after spending the 3 previous seasons with the Pirates. Two 0 pitches in for a strike. Melvin started to go to his reserves. We've got Lambeau hitting for Davis. And number 80, Sean Murphy's in the on-deck circle. He'll hit for Lowry. Here comes Lugo, the 3rd baseman with the shift on, and he makes a nice play. Noel Lugo. Or pardon me, Domingo Leyva, 74 in there, not 71.
That's a really nice play. I mean, in your head, that stopwatch is running. You know that runner's streaking down the first base line. To compound it, the ball took a bad hop to the left, and he's able to stay with it and shovel on to Pridey for the out of first base.
And Domingo Leyva's a guy who can play all 3 infield spots, really. We've seen a lot of them this spring, he and Lugo. So 5-3 on the putout of Lambeau. And here's Sean Murphy, right-hand hitter. Bats for Jed Lowry. Jeff Decker in the on-deck circle. He'll hit for Matt Joyce. We have an old friend with us in the ballpark today. There he is, former D-back skipper Chip Hale is back in Oakland. He's the 3rd base coach this year for Bob Melvin's staff, so it was terrific to see Chip immediately, as you knew he would, land on his feet.
Absolutely. He's a baseball guy. You knew he was going to land on his feet somewhere. Thought it was interesting to watch a number of the Diamondbacks players go over and greet Chip after the unfortunate circumstances last year and the way it ended for him here in Arizona. But down there in that 3rd base coach's box for Bob Melvin once again.
3-2 now on Murphy. Yeah, it was a tough deck of cards that Chip was dealt last year with all the injuries. But he handled himself the entire season in absolute first-class manner. And on his way out the door, not a bad word to be heard.
Yep. Yeah, for a baseball lifer like Chip Hale, there has to be some comfort. I mean, obviously, you'd like to keep your previous job as long as possible, but when things do come to an end with one organization, you know there's multiple organizations lined up. And fortunately for Chip, he goes back to a team he's very familiar with, a manager he's familiar with, situation he's familiar with. So good for Chip Hale.
Archie does not get the call from Brian Gorman on the 3-2 pitch to Murphy, and it's his 2nd walk of the ball game. Jeff Decker will hit for Matt Joyce now. Strike 1 from Archie Bradley. Well, this is a battle of the beards right here. Archie ahead 0-2. Somebody get a razor.
Bunch of razors.
Remember that old Joe Namath commercial with Farrah Fawcett Majors?
Yeah.
We need one of those. What was your top? I mean, you're a man with famous facial hair. Did you ever go full beard?
I have a couple of times, just because I'm too lazy to shave in the off season, but it never looked anything like either one of these beards.
These guys look like they've been out in the woods for about 3 months.
Yeah, you notice there are no ducks circling around the stadium.
Yeah, they're ready for the Duck Dynasty casting call here.
I just, you know, for me personally, and everybody's a little different, it involves too much effort. If you try to keep it nice and neat, there's a lot of trimming involved, and as we mentioned with Archie, he's got the shampoo and oil conditioner going.
Well, that's how he gets it luscious. This one is knocked the other way into left field, a base hit for Decker. I mean, luscious doesn't come naturally. You got to work at it.
I guess you have to work at it.
That's what I've been told. There's Jacob Brugman, who took over in left field for Chris Davis. Each team now with 10 hits. Bullpen still quiet for the Diamondbacks with Archie at 50 pitches. There's a strike and it's 1-1. Murphy the runner at second and Decker at first. That one looked a little bit off the plate, but Brian Gorman says strike two.
It's not unusual in a Cactus League or Grapefruit League game, 10-8 in the 6th inning, to have that strike zone get a little bit bigger.
Off the fist, and that's going to dunk in there. The A's will have the bases loaded. Brugman just fought that one off, and it's a base hit. Jared Miller starts throwing again down there.
Just about to say, a little slow down here. Chris Iannetta made his way out to the mound to talk to Archie. Jason Pridey came in from first base. Nick Ahmed from shortstop, just to kind of slow the momentum a little bit, give Archie a chance to take a deep breath with A's on every base.
Murphy at third, Decker at second, and Brugman at first. And here's Chapman, the third baseman. He came in for Plouffe. Matt Chapman, right-hand hitter. And Archie gets ahead 0-1. A's have been playing well as of late. They've won 3 of their last 4 Cactus League games. That's a rocket up the middle. Murphy will score. That's all they'll get. He had to hold up at third to make sure it got through. And the A's are back within 1. 4 consecutive batters have reached against Archie Bradley in the 6th. That ball was scolded.
Yeah, the hit by Brugman was a little bit of a flare to left field, but nothing cheap about Chapman's line drive into center.
And here comes Torey Lovullo. He'll go to the Vanderbilt left-hander. This is a young guy to watch in camp. We'll get a look at Jared Miller when we come back. Out mess in the 6th inning, and this is a young man who put up some very impressive numbers at 4 different levels of the Diamondbacks minor league system last year, all in relief. He shot straight up the charts, just under 62 minor league innings last year, 80 strikeouts. He gave up only 36 hits.
It just means he didn't sign a lease anywhere he played.
He was around for 2 weeks, then he was on his way up all the way.
Again. Yeah, find a teammate to crash with.
Kane County, Mobile, Reno. 61 1/3 innings, 23 walks, and 80 strikeouts for Jared Miller, and he had an unbelievable fall lead. Once that was over, he was very impressive in the Arizona Fall League. And now he's got some work to do. Archie Bradley leaves him loaded in what is now a 10-9 ball game. Bases full of A's and 1 out. And batting for Yonder Alonso will be Matt Olson. Lefty on lefty here. Jared Miller out of Avon, Indiana, played collegiately at Vanderbilt. Diamondbacks made him an 11th round pick in the 2014 draft. A converted starting pitcher in the D-back system, and very effective now as a reliever. Behind 2-0. Miller, of course, when you play at Vanderbilt, you go work out at Vanderbilt in the offseason, and they have a lot of great players. Sonny Gray, who started this ball game for the A's, another Vanderbilt guy. But Miller worked out with David Price in Nashville in the offseason not too long ago, and picked up a cut fastball from David Price. And it's been a very effective pitch for him. And having trouble finding the strike zone here. It's 3-0.
Yeah, he missed with breaking balls on the first 2 deliveries, and then tried to overthrow the 2-0 fastball, left it up high to fall behind 3-0. And to get back in the count here, bases loaded.
Gets the strike call from Brian Gorman, 3-1. Miller put up some ridiculous numbers for the Salt River Rafters in this ballpark in the Arizona Fall League. 18 1/3 scoreless innings. He gave up only 6 hits and had 30 strikeouts. He was quickly added to the Diamondbacks major league roster, but he walks in a run here, and we're tied at 10. Marcus Simeon's spot comes up, but we'll get a pinch hitter. Franklin Barreto will hit for Simeon. Base is still loaded, still just one out in the 10-10 ball game.
Maybe just spring training, but you're glad to see anybody other than Simeon up there right now. Simeon had 3 hits in the ball game, including a double. He scored a run, drove in 4. Nothing against Franklin Barreto, but I'd much rather see him up there than Marcus Simeon.
Simeon's become one of the best power hitting shortstops in the game. Miller quickly ahead now, 0-2, so quite a contrast here for Miller. He went 3-0 on Olsen. Now ahead, no balls and 2 strikes on Barreto. Joey Wendell in the on-deck circle for the A's. He would hit for Josh Figley. Leyba off the glove at third. It rolls into center field. Decker scores. Brugman right behind him. And the A's get 2 in. Domingo Leyba, a tricky hop at third.
Well, it's unfortunate he gets a piece of this ball and deflects it over toward left center field. Had that ball gone through into left field, only 1 A's scores. The runner at second would have had to have been held up at third base, but because it was deflected toward the gap in left center, A's are able to score 2 and have 2 more men in scoring position.
Brugman and Chapman score. Olsen at third now, Barreto at second, and Wendell will hit for Figley. In the air, left field, Hazelbaker backing up, looking up, and it's off the base of the wall. This will get 2 more runs home for the A's. It's a 2-run double. Joey Wendell makes it 14-10.
Oh, struck well to the opposite field. Hazelbaker looking up into that afternoon sun, got a little bit of a late break on that ball. By the time he realizes it's over his head, he's got no chance to get back to the barrier and make the play.
Renato Nunez, the DH. Struck out looking against Bradley his first time up. A's now with 14 runs on 13 hits. And Wendell will move into second, into third.
Mike Butcher will make his way out to the mound for a quick meeting with the left-hander here. Just try to settle him down a little bit. Brought into real tough circumstances. Bases loaded. Only 1 out in the inning. Had trouble throwing strikes to the first batter he faced and has been hit hard by the next 2.
Another TV game for you tomorrow here on Fox Sports Arizona. Zach Greinke makes his second start this spring against Team Mexico from the World Baseball Classic. That's a 1 o'clock start, 1:10 first pitch. We saw Daniel Gibson, the left-hander, warming up at the Diamondback bullpen. We'll have TV games for you as well Friday against the Brewers and Saturday against the Giants. But Greinke tomorrow against Team Mexico. A 6-run A's 6th, and still just 1 out. 3-1.
With a runner at third base, and only one out here in the inning. Diamondbacks aren't playing their defense all the way in. A lot of that has to do with the speed of the runner at third base, and the Diamondbacks feel with, what's his name, Wendell?
Yep.
Joey Wendell over there at third base doesn't have the kind of speed, so they're going to play a couple steps deeper than all the way in. Normally they would come all the way in at the cut of the infield grass, but all the way around the infield, playing a few steps deeper than what we would consider all the way in.
Got Domingo Leyba at third. Nick Ahmed still the shortstop. Ildemaro Vargas is at second base. 3-2 count on Nunez. He needs a new bat. That one is hit high in the air toward the left field foul pole, and he just missed a long home run. Nunez thinks it's out of here. He's in his home run trot. That's a foul ball.
I think Chip Hale thought it was out of here too, down in his third base coach's box. He's looking right down that line.
Well, that made it almost onto the walkway, the concourse out there. Chip thought for sure that was gone. That was hit over the foul pole. Here's a look. Nunez sure thinks it's gone.
Well, it's either a home run or a foul ball. He thought it was a home run. Unfortunately for him, the guy whose opinion matters called it foul. That's way back there.
Whew. That's a poke. We've seen that look from Chip from time to time. Still 3-2 on Nunez. Ball 4. So it's been a rough outing for Miller. He's walked 2, given up a double. And the A's have batted around in the 6th. Andrew Lambeau, who grounded out earlier in this inning. Daniel Gibson, the left-hander, still warming up in the D-backs bullpen. Oh, 2. Gets Lambeau to wave at that one. That's the first strikeout for Jared Miller. 2 down in the 6th. Sean Murphy now. Murphy walked and scored earlier in this inning. And he hit for the second baseman, Jed Lowry. Joey Wendell still the runner at third. Nunez at first. 2 outs. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. He's gone the distance so far. Jared Miller, the 5th Diamondback pitcher of the afternoon for Torey Lovullo. 1-1.
That's one of the better balancing acts that any manager and catching instructor and pitching coach go through during the course of spring training, is trying to get your catcher with every pitcher at some point, so they get an opportunity to see them not just in a side session or a bullpen session, but actually see them out there on the mound against opposing hitters, and try to get every catcher with every pitcher by the end of spring training.
Boy, that was really close, but Miller doesn't get the call, and Murphy's ahead 2-1. Yeah, Torey Lovullo has made a point to say that's exactly what he's trying to do, make sure everybody gets a look at everybody. Two and two.
I talked about it in the past in spring training. One year with the Giants when Jim Davenport was our manager. First week at camp, kind of split it up. The starting catcher would go 4 or 5 innings. The backup catcher would come in and finish the ball game, and then the next day it would be 2 more guys going through the same routine. But after you got about a week or 10 days worth of games under your belt, I would get an opportunity to catch 9 innings today and basically have tomorrow off from the game. Go to a backfield and work on defensive fundamentals, go to the cage and hit. But it was basically an every other day proposition, and you still got to see all the pitchers that way. You also got to extend yourself, get your legs in shape to go 9 innings. And you also had the next day to work on something that you needed to work on, and Lord knows I had plenty to work on.
Now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There goes Nunez from first, and it's ball 4. That's the 3rd walk for Jared Miller. And this has turned into a rough outing for the young left-hander. He has walked 3 of the 6 batters he's faced. And here's Decker. Once again, the A's have the bases loaded. Wendell at third, Nunez is at second, and Murphy at first. With a young pitcher like this, do you want to see if he can work himself out of trouble?
Yeah,
give him the chance.
That's a real fine line too, but you don't want to ruin his confidence. You don't want a guy to go out there and just take a beating and have to go home and wear it for a couple of days before he gets an opportunity to go out there and pitch again. But by the same token, as I've mentioned many times, you want to see how he responds to adversity. Is he able to right the ship and get back in the strike zone, or is he a guy that once he gets into trouble, we need to get him out of there quickly?
Really having trouble throwing strikes. Two and one.
Struggling with the fastball command, so he goes to a breaking ball in a 2-0 count, rolls it up there for a called strike.
Bullpen still busy. Daniel Gibson, the left-hander, continues to warm up. Jared Miller approaching 30 pitches. He's behind 3-1. And he's already walked 3.
And I don't care what level it is or what time of year it is, if you struggle to throw strikes the way Miller has here in this ballgame, you are not going to get the benefit of the doubt on borderline pitches. And he's thrown a couple of them that were close enough to appear to be a strike. Not that one.
And he's walked in a run. And it's 15-10 Oakland. And that's it. Here comes Torey Lovullo. He wants Gibson. Well, Jared Miller faced 7 batters, walked 4 of them. It's been a 7-run 6th and still going for Oakland. Diamondbacks down 15-10. stick where the Diamondbacks trail at 15-10 in what's turned out to be a marathon top of the 6th inning. Here's the left-hander Daniel Gibson. His numbers last year with Mobile and Reno, 6-1, an ERA right at 3.5. 25-year-old, a 7th-round pick out of the University of Florida by the D-backs 4 years ago, and he gets a bases-loaded jam.
And has borrowed Archie Bradley's beard to pitch here today.
A rough day for Jared Miller, the Vanderbilt lefty. As the A's have sent 12 men to the plate here in this 6th inning, they've scored 7 runs. Miller walked 4.
Well, we've all heard the saying that in spring training, especially at the beginning of spring training, the pitchers are far ahead of the hitters. Well, hasn't been the case here today. Some of the pitchers have had trouble finding the strike zone. Others have found the strike zone with not much success, as you see Josh Thole taking over behind the plate.
Here's Brugman, who took over in left field for Chris Davis. Singled and scored earlier in this inning. The 13th man to bat in the A's 6th, and there's strike 1. Renato Nunez is the runner at 3rd. Sean Murphy's at 2nd and Decker's at 1st. Right up the middle, a diving stop, and there's nowhere to throw it as Nunez scores the 16th A's run. A nice stop by Nick Ahmed, but everybody's safe.
Probably prevented the 2nd run from scoring with his ability to dive and keep that ball on the infield. Unfortunately, no play to be made anywhere, but holds that runner at 3rd base for the time being.
Matt Chapman now. First pitch swinging high in the air, deep right field. Osvaldo Arcia at the wall. He won't get it. It's off the top of the wall. It stays in play. Murphy scores. Decker scores. Everybody scores. And Chapman stands at 3rd. Just missed a grand slam.
Hit hard to the opposite field, really carried a lot farther than I anticipated. I think more than Arcia anticipated. That ball hit at the top of the padding out there above the Geico sign. Just mistimed his jump a little bit. Saw him take a peek there at the fence. Yeah, just was on the way down. Couldn't quite get to it. That ends up as a 3 RBI trip.
And an 11-run Oakland 6th. The A's have scored 11 runs. They're coming close to batting around twice here. As Olsen steps in. He walked and scored earlier in this inning. The A's now with 19 runs on 15 hits. Olsen, the 15th man to bat here in the Oakland 6th. Matt Chapman just missed a grand slam. Called strike 3 and the inning ends, but the A's score 11 runs. They lead it 19-10. Chris Iannetta, a walk, couple of doubles, an RBI, scored 2 runs, and he joins us now from the dugout. Chris, how you doing?
All right.
You look all right. Boy, Bob and I were saying we haven't seen in this ballpark too many guys hit one that far up the batter's eye in dead center field. You really drilled that one.
Thank you. Yeah, got a good pitch to hit. Was able to put the barrel to it. Felt good.
You'd like to pull that one a little bit more or stay inside it a little bit more, but yeah, really good solid contact to straightaway center field. I know from past experience it's hard for catchers to always get your offensive work in, especially those first couple weeks of spring training. Have you found you've been able to get into the cage and get some batting practice besides your work with the pitching staff?
Yeah, definitely doing a lot of work on the side. Trying to get my swing where I want it to be, trying to get my timing and rhythm, and felt pretty good today. It's only I think it's only been 11 or 12 at bats so far this year, so still a ways to go. There's a lot of different things to work on. So hopefully every day just keeps getting a little better timing wise and feel wise.
Yeah, walk, 2 doubles, an RBI, scored twice. Not a bad day of work here. How's it been working with the different pitchers, Chris, and getting to know everybody and their stuff?
It's been good. It takes time. It definitely, once you go through the rotation 2 or 3 times, you start to get a better feel. It's still very early. I've only worked with some guys once. A few guys that came out here today, it was the first time I got a chance to work with them. So things will get better. We'll get a better feel as we go. Today, I think, was just a stereotypical spring training game where anything can happen. So
yeah, no kidding. Chris, is it harder for a catcher to join a new team than, say, an infielder or an outfielder because you've got so many other things to learn?
Yeah, I think you definitely have a lot more responsibilities. You have your offensive stuff, like what an infielder, outfielder has to do. You got your defensive stuff. But for a catcher, our defense encompasses learning a whole new staff. Every guy with a personality. Their set of pitches, their subset of their plus pitches, and how they like to get guys out. So it takes some time. Like I said, it takes 2 or 3 times through a rotation to start feeling a little comfort. And then every time you work with them, you just keep getting better and better.
Well, Mike Fitzgerald has been brought over from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He runs the analytics department now, and we've heard there's a real emphasis, obviously, on pitch framing and receiving. Have you worked much with Mike and his analytics department so far yet? Yeah,
we've been working a lot. Every game we go over it and see where we can improve, make sure that we're staying relaxed back there. And, we're not trying to steal strikes. What we're really trying to do is just make sure the pitches that our pitchers throw for strikes, we get them called.
Well, that was something for you last year in Seattle, where I read where there was a while where you thought your target was maybe a little bit too high and some of your pitch framing numbers weren't quite as good as they were 2 years ago when they were just outstanding.
Yeah, I think I got into a little bit of a defensive habit where, for me, my athletic position is probably have my glove right above my knees, so I kind of default to that spot. I have to really fight to keep my glove down below my knees to start. I think I started creeping up, and I think when you creep up above your knees and then you go down to catch the low pitch, it gives the appearance that pitch right there might be a little bit lower than it actually is. So for me, it's just working on, starting down, staying down, and then just being relaxed and just receive the ball. And it's been a lot better this year.
It looked like you did a good job of it today. I was keeping a close eye on it after my partner mentioned the fact that you thought maybe your target was a little bit too high last year, and you did good.
Yeah, it was better. It was better. Obviously, the results weren't there. I'd like it to be 3 up, 3 down every time we go out there, but what happens. It's spring. We'll wash it. Come back out tomorrow and keep working at it.
No, it's funny. As soon as I mentioned Jack Winery, you laced that ball high off the batter's eye in center field. So we want to make sure we get a plug in for the wine. Tell us about your involvement with the winery.
Yeah, sure. When 2012, Vern Wells with the Blue Jays, and I played with him with the Angels. We started a little joint venture and created a wine label out in Napa, and it's been fun. It's been a passion project so far, but we've been gaining a lot of exposure. We've had a couple articles in Wine Spectator. Robert Parker gave us a 94-point rating on our 2013 cab, so we're excited about that, especially in our second year. So it's been fun. We'll see what happens.
Well, I know we have a lot of empty bottles at our house.
You guys have been great. Thank you.
The wife loves the Jack Winery. Chris, it's great to have you here. We're excited for the season. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We'll head to the 7th inning. Diamondbacks down 19-10. Welcome back to Scottsdale. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Brenly along the way. The Diamondbacks trail the A's 19-10. It's been a bit of a wild one here this afternoon on a beautiful day in Scottsdale. And the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks as we start the 7th inning, the right-hander Kiva Sampson. And he's got several defensive changes behind him. Kiva Sampson, the former Cincinnati Red, bidding for a bullpen job here with the Diamondbacks this year. Franklin Barreto, the shortstop, will lead off the A's 7th. Domingo Leyba has moved over from third base to shortstop. And taking over at third for the Diamondbacks, it's Dawel Lugo. Christopher Negron moves from center field to first base, replacing Jason Pridey. And Evan Marzilli is out there in center. That's out of play, and it's 2-1. Socrates Brito is the new left fielder. He takes over for Jeremy Hazelbaker.
How's your scorecard looking over there, partner?
Oh, boy. I tell you, it looks like some kindergarten art school project. Got colors and erasing and all kinds of things.
Typical spring training game, multiple changes, guys moving here, there, everywhere, up and down the lineup. It always ends up looking like a chicken is walked through ink and then the scorecard.
And then when Oakland sends 15 men to the plate in the 6th inning, then you've got all kinds of things shifting over.
And 2 defenders wearing number 74 on the same team.
That's always awesome. But part of the deal.
That's
still
right.
3-2. But when you come out to these games just about every day, you get used to the players on site, and that always helps. And we've seen a lot of guys like, Ildemaro Vargas and Domingo Leyba, Dawel Lugo. There's Oscar Hernandez, had a great spring so far. Christopher Negron. Seen a lot of these guys so far this spring. The key for Kiva Sampson is to get a 1-2-3 inning, because they sent 15 men up to the plate. I only have 3 spots left to fit this in here in the 7th. Then things really get out of hand. But these are some of the penmanship issues that you face up here from time to time. So there's a lot of pressure on Kiva Sampson right here. Base hit up the middle, and on we go. Leadoff single for Barreto.
Bob Melvin told me before the ball game he likes his club's offense. I didn't know it was going to show up the way it did here today, but very aggressive swinging A's ball club. But at the same time, if you don't throw them strikes, they'll take their base on balls. Right out of that money ball theory.
Well, let's see if Joey Wendell can hit into a double play here. Wendell took over for Jed Lowry at second base.
Well, the thing about a game like this in spring training, and there's no way to sugarcoat it, it's been ugly, especially for the Diamondbacks pitching staff today, but there's always something to do. There's always eyes on you out there on the field. I look down to the coaching staff on both sides of the field. They're intently paying attention to every pitch, every swing, every defensive play, trying to get a read on some of these younger players and where they might fit in the future. Brief delay, a ball got on the field out there in center.
Torey Lovello and Mike Butcher. Now you get nervous when you see the coaches and the managers sitting out there unprotected. After what happened over the weekend in Surprise when a Giants coach was severely injured, hit right in the face by a line drive. And he had to be flown in to get treatment. He was operated on. He's recovering okay, but you wonder how long they're going to even allow coaches to sit. I know that's always been the way it's been. But they're unprotected and in a dangerous spot over there.
And I'm sure people at home are wondering, well, why do they sit up there? There's the double play ball.
Off the glove of Sampson, and a very nice recovery out there by Ildemaro Vargas to get one.
Well, that was a great recovery there to change directions, barehand that ball, and throw on the move to first base in time to get an out. Sampson says he's okay. I think that ball hit all glove right there, possibly.
Boy, look at Vargas, who broke toward the bag and had to go back over toward first base, barehand that one. And the throw to Negron gets the runner. And here comes Ryan DePanfilo to have a look at Kivas Sampson.
Might have deflected off his glove and hit him in the forehead somewhere. I mean, his teammates were immediately calling for the trainer to come out. He was waving him off, but apparently he's answered all the questions Brian DePanfilo needs answered, and he's going to continue on.
Renato Nunez will be the hitter with Barreto at second and one out. Kivas Sampson got a very live arm. He's had some impressive outings with Cincinnati the last couple of years. Although he spent most of last season pitching for the Reds AAA team in Louisville, where he put up excellent numbers. Worked 62 innings and had a 1.88 ERA. 0-1 to Nunez. Sampson 18 appearances with Cincinnati in the big leagues last year, all but 2 of them in relief. His first major league win came at Chase Field. He started against the Diamondbacks in August of 2015. Gave up just 1 run, 4 hits, went 6 innings. Kivas Sampson, a 4th round pick by the Padres in '09. Out of high school in Ocala, Florida. He was born in Gainesville. This one is really well hit, deep center field. Marzilli at the track. And he's got it. Barreto back to the bag, and that's the second out. Andrew Lambeau.
Andrew Lambeau came into the ball game in the 6th inning. This is his 3rd at bat here in the 7th.
What are you saying?
Ooh, it's a rough 6th.
The A's sent 15 men to the plate in the 6th inning. They scored 11 runs.
Good fading action on that changeup from Sampson. Started it on the outer third of the plate. About 83, 84 miles an hour. Good tailing action away from the left-handed hitter.
Kivas Sampson's main go-to pitch has been his rising 4-seam fastball, and he feels like he can throw it inside and outside. He'll elevate sometimes. Throws a 2-seam fastball as well. Change up and a slider. He's ahead 0-2. Popped it up. Who wants it? Leyba, the shortstop, has it, and Kivas Sampson ends the inning. We stretch in Scottsdale. Diamondbacks trail at 19-10. Bob Brenly with you. Our Gila River game summary. Whole lot of offense. The Diamondbacks got 5 in the first. Actually led this game at one point, 5-0. Then now trail 19-10 as the A's had an 11-run 6th inning. And now we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Raul Alcantara is back out there for the A's. Diamondbacks 10 runs on 10 hits. Normally a pretty good day, but against this Oakland juggernaut, not so much. It was a rough day for Archie Bradley, a very rough day for Jared Miller in relief. Okay day. What do you think of Shelby Miller?
Just okay. I think that's a good way to put it. He made some good pitches when he needed to, but wasn't as crisp or as sharp as the last time out. But baby steps.
Oscar Hernandez hitting for Ketel Marte in the DH spot to lead off the 7th. Oscar, his numbers last year, he's had a very good spring. Oscar's a couple of home runs. He's looked very good. A fly ball out to Lambeau in left field. Oh, it's popped up. Barreto was out there ranging out into left field. He's got it, and that's the first out. Socrates Brito now. Brito took over in left field for Jeremy Hazelbaker. His first at bat today. Socrates last year with the Diamondbacks, 179 and 4 homers. Right into the glove of Alcantara. 2 down. And here's the third baseman, Dawel Lugo. You see Lugo's numbers in the minor leagues, Visalia and Mobile. That's single A and double A. 311 with 17 home runs. He's 22 years old, a very encouraging minor league season, and he takes strike 1. Lugo in the offseason worked hard on his body, dropped 15 pounds. And he knocks that into center, a 2-out single. This is a guy the scouts really seem to like, developing into a pretty strong kid.
That was a good example right there. Just kind of muscled that ball off his hands back up the middle of the field for a base hit. Well, we think about strength in a hitter and talk about how far their home runs fly or exit velocity on a line drive, but strong hitters get those kind of base hits too.
Marzilli skies one to very short right. Wendell's out there. Decker wants it, and he's got it. We are through 7. Diamondbacks trail at 19-10. Cactus League action. The D-backs trail the A's 19-10. Hey fans, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with National Alliance on Mental Illness and its commitment to improving the lives of families and those living with mental illness. Learn more about how to be stigma-free. Visit foxsportsupports.com. Kiva Sampson back out there for the A's, rolling around on the berm out there here at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. Just a perfect day. Very comfortable, very light breeze, sunny skies overhead. Some of that cool weather finally starting to move out of town. It's been chilly here. It's low 60s.
Supposed to get up in the mid 80s, I think, for the rest of the week. Perfect baseball weather.
That's right. So come on down. Zach Greinke on the mound tomorrow against Team Mexico. So we hope to see you at Salt River Fields for that one. We'll also have the game for you on the TV side here. Sean Murphy leads off the 8th inning. A little roller off the side of the mound. Leyba, the shortstop, makes a nice play. Domingo Leyba, one away.
Yeah, I mentioned a few moments ago, even in a blowout game in spring training, there's always something to watch for the staff. The guy's really keeping a close eye on these youngsters, and Leyba opening some eyes with his range on that play. Went way up the middle of the field.
There's been some discussion with Leyba. Is he better served as a second baseman or a shortstop? Dave Stewart, when he was here, always insisted that Leyba could play short, but some guys think he might profile better at second base. But certainly showed some nice range there. Here's Decker. A lot of Diamondbacks on TV this week. We're back with you tomorrow against Team Mexico. Zach Greinke on the mound. No TV on Thursday for the game at Glendale against the White Sox. Patrick Corbin pitches in that ball game, but we're back on the TV side with you Friday and Saturday. Friday, Taijuan Walker against Milwaukee. Saturday, Robbie Ray takes on the Giants. So we're in a nice TV stretch here. 5 broadcasts over the next 8 days, including Friday, Saturday, and next Tuesday.
Good to see our old buddy Craig Counsell when we play the Brewers. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's old home week for you here with Bob Melvin in town today.
Mike Aldrete is his bench coach. Mike Aldrete and I were teammates with the Giants along with Bob Melvin. Marcus Jensen, one of the other A's coaches, was a catcher with the Giants when I was coaching over there. All kinds of connections.
Kiva Sampson gets the strikeout, 2 down. Anything you've seen from the bullpen that you particularly like? You got so many candidates from which to choose.
Well, unfortunately for every guy I start to like, they have a bad outing.
Well, what happens?
Which is spring training. That's what happens in spring training. You know, you run into some guys late in a ball game like this, young players on the other team that are just up there hacking away. You can't set them up. Just have to try to make really good pitches and hope your defense make plays behind you. But I think it's still a little early. The bullpen is probably going to be just about the last thing that's finalized in spring training.
You would think, with so many guys to look at. Kiva Sampson among them. There's a flare that's carrying out to left field for Brito. And Kiva Sampson works a 1-2-3/8. Diamondbacks trail at 19-10. Diamondbacks trail the A's 19-10 as we start at the bottom of the 8th inning. Raul Alcantara back out there for the A's. His 3rd inning of work for Bob Melvin's crew. The A's with 19 runs on 16 hits. They had an 11-run 6th inning.
Ouch.
During which they sent 15 men to the plate. And Josh Thole will lead off the Arizona 8th. Josh Thole, one of several catching candidates in camp. His numbers with Toronto last season. Josh, an 8-year Major League veteran, signed by the Diamondbacks in January. He's been in Toronto the last 4 years. Prior to that was with the Mets for 4 seasons. Just under 40 starts behind the plate for the Blue Jays last year. Just missed away, and it's 2-2. Josh Thole, born and raised in Breese, Illinois. Went to high school there, a 13th round pick by the Mets in '05. This is hit to third for Chapman.
Josh Thole probably still has nightmares about catching that R.A. Dickey knuckleball.
In a bit.
A contemporary of mine back in the day, Bruce Benedict, who caught for the Atlanta Braves and had to catch Phil Niekro's knuckleball. I remember talking to him many times the day after, and he said, I couldn't even sleep last night. My eyes were crossed. Trying to catch that knuckleball. Tough to hit, tough to catch.
Munoz now in at third base. He takes over for Chapman, who took over from Plouffe. So Munoz has the putout. Here's Christopher Negron. You've seen Christopher, the former Cincinnati Red, play all over the field for the Diamondbacks. In this game alone, he's played center field and first base. Spent last year with the Cubs AAA team at Iowa. Hit .256 there with 9 home runs. The grown parts of the 14 and 15 seasons with Cincinnati. Just under 100 big league games to his credit. He's got a batting average of .220. And he looks at strike 3. Two down now for Osvaldo Arcia, the right fielder. It's been quite a run for Arcia lately. He played with 4 different organizations last season, 4 teams in 1 year. And he's still not yet 26 years old. He's got some power from the left-hand side. This was a guy who, as a 23-year-old rookie in 2014, had a 20-homer season in Minnesota. Looked to be a guy they might build around, but he was also a guy that struggled defensively and struck out a lot. So the Twins finally decided he didn't make enough consistent contact and let him go last June. He bounced around. Sent to Tampa Bay for almost nothing. Played just about 20 games with the Rays. He was waived, picked up by Miami. He was a Marlin for 2 games. Was released and was picked up by San Diego. Bergman out there fighting the sun in center. And the Diamondbacks go quietly. We go to the 9th. They trail at 19-10. Ninth inning at Salt River Fields. D-backs trail the A's 19-10. And up from minor league camp to take care of the ninth inning, it's the right-hander Ivan Pinheiro. He was 0-4 in 11 games with 3 different clubs in the Marlins minor league system last year. Once traded as part of a package for Dan Herron, traded to the Nationals from the Cubs. That was in 2015. And he'll work the ninth inning in a 19-10 game.
Might as well be the ninth inning of Game 7 of the World Series for Pinheiro.
Exactly. Now here's Munoz, who came in for Chapman, who came in for Plouffe. If you're trying to score here. Yairo Munoz. Fouled back into 21. Pinheiro worked mostly as a starter in the Marlins minor league system last year. 11 appearances, 9 of those were starts. Two and two. Don't forget, Zach Greinke on the mound here tomorrow. His second start this spring against Team Mexico from the World Baseball Classic. Hope to see you out here at Salt River Field on what should be a beautiful day. We'll have that game on TV for you as well, and television games coming up Friday and Saturday later this week. Olsen on deck.
Diamondbacks lefty Jorge De La Rosa pitching for Team Mexico in the WBC as ball 4 is issued. I mentioned their pitching staff: Marco Estrada, Giovanni Gallardo, Jaime Garcia. They've got some guys that have been around the block a little bit. Vidal Nuno, Oliver Perez.
So we might have an El Nuno sighting.
Yeah.
El Nuno, of course, which is Spanish for the Nuno. Matt Olson.
I was taking a look at the roster to see if our buddy Rubio Durazo might drag it out one more time and see how far he could hit the ball, but I don't see his name on the roster.
Adrian Gonzalez plays for that team.
Yeah.
First baseman, Team Mexico. This is very well hit. Deep right center field. And that ball is halfway up the berm. A home run for Olson. And the A's have opened up a 21-10 lead.
Another no doubter.
Yeah, that sounded good coming off the bat. 21 runs on 17 hits.
So when the ball's put into play and the only outfielders that move are the ones sitting on the bank, well, you know that ball was touched up.
And appropriately, it was chased down by a young man wearing a football jersey. As Barreto steps in. Barreto took over at shortstop for Marcus Semien. Semien had a very good day. 3 hits, 2 singles, a double he knocked in for. Negron gives it a look, but it's out of play. And it's 0-2. This young man, I know the combine just ended for the NFL. Check out how far this little guy ran for this baseball. That might be 4.4 speed.
Nice. Yeah.
And he's not afraid to get down on it.
We'll trade some grass stains for a baseball any day.
Big Bronco fan, apparently. He's got the hat, his shirt, the whole thing. No wind at all out there right now. The flags are dead still in right center. Third base for Lugo. Throw almost pulled Negron off the bag. Christopher made a nice catch there and kept his foot on the base, and that's the first out. Joey Wendell, the second baseman now. Ildemaro Vargas at second. 2 down. So if the A's can hang on here, barring a 12-run Diamondback ninth, we did, after all, see an 11-run Oakland sixth. Bob Melvin's club will improve to 6-4 on the spring. They'll have won 4 of their last 5. This is Max Schrock off the minor league roster, batting for Renato Nunez. One and 2 on Max Schrock. Leiba's there at shortstop, but the A's get 2 more. Bottom 9 on the way. The Diamondbacks, they've scored 10, but they trail by 11. With an 11-run lead and get a chance for a save, but that's what's happening with Raul Alcantara, who will work his 4th inning for Bob Melvin's A's. They lead 21-10, and Ildemaro Vargas leads off the home half of the 9th. D-backs with 10 runs on 11 hits. The A's with 21 runs on 17 hits. And here's Vargas, who has been a player to watch this spring. 0 for 1 so far, but a tremendous year in the minors last year. Went to Visalia, then to Mobile, then to Reno, and hit over 300 with 6 home runs, stole 21 bases. Vargas, another independent league find by the Diamondback scouts, 25 years old. He'll be 26 in July, and moved up very quickly through their minor league system last year.
And this is part of the reason why a lot of the scouts, if not all the scouts, have hung around to the end of a 21-10 ball game. You know, a lot of these younger players, you don't have a real good book on them yet. You want to start to establish that. So even though this game is well out of hand, the scouts are going to hang around till the bitter end so they can get a report on every one of these young players that's still in the ball game.
There they are, right behind home plate. 2-1 on Ildemaro Vargas. Vargas was playing A ball in the Cardinals minor league system. He was released near the end of spring training 2 years ago. Wound up playing independent ball with the Bridgeport Bluefish in the Atlantic League. Diamondbacks signed him a couple of months into the 2015 season. Wound up hitting over 320 at Kane County, and he gives this one a ride. Ildemaro Vargas off the wall in right. Well, that's what the scouts have seen so far. The Diamondbacks minor league coaches have seen that. This is a guy who can hit.
And scouts sometimes will say they like a guy's actions around the field, just meaning he looks like a baseball player. The way he moves defensively, the way he runs the bases, the way he swings the bat, looks like a guy that can do some things to help a team win games.
Vargas,
that one off the wall.
Yeah, he did very well at AA Mobile, was a Southern League All-Star last year. And then finished up with just about 50 games at Reno, and he hit .354 at Reno. His first ever experience at the AAA level. There's Domingo Leyba. So the never say die Diamondbacks, as Brandon Webb likes to say. Down 11 in the ninth. The leadoff man's aboard. I haven't seen Webby yet. Is he going to show here? Show up here?
Sure. He's probably in that RV somewhere.
Leyba gets into one. Fly ball right center. Decker can't make the catch. Vargas had to hold up. He'll be waved home. Leyba gets into third, and it's 21-11. Well, two Diamondbacks have just missed homers to start the ninth.
Another ball touched up to right center field, down and in. Drops a bat head on it. There's actually really good base running. Ball played off the wall right there. The runner at second base, Vargas, had to hold up and make sure that ball was down, and subsequently the batter had to hold up as well at second base. But when the throw was high over the cutoff man, he advanced on to third base.
Oscar Hernandez. Saw Oscar hit a couple of home runs in this ballpark last week. He's shown some power that they've always said was in that bat, and he has really looked good this spring. Still just 23 years old, Oscar Hernandez. He'll be 24 in July. Here comes Leyba, and he will score. It's 21-12.
That heads-up base running, advancing on to third base on the overthrow, allows him to score on either a pass ball or a wild pitch. Not sure how that one's going to be ruled, but hey, anytime you can take an extra 90 feet on the bases, it sets up the opportunity to get on that dish a lot easier.
One and one to Oscar. Pitcher's mound in complete sunlight right now. All of home plate encased in shadow. As we're past the 3.5-hour mark. No one throwing in the Oakland bullpen. It's 3-1 on Oscar Hernandez. Socrates, Brito on deck. There's a walk. It's been pointed out to me by our producer, Brad the Big Dog Weimer, proud Michigan alum, that our score is a palindrome.
So he did learn something at Michigan.
Apparently. Apparently he didn't skip that day. Socrates, Brito now. First three have reached in the D-backs ninth. By the way, if you're going to come out here on Saturday, bring the kids, bring the whole family. The National Baseball Hall of Fame has its We Are Baseball tour, and it's going to open up for 2017 Saturday here at Salt River Field. D-backs have an afternoon game against the Giants. And for 2 weeks in March, fans in Scottsdale at Salt River Field's a Talking Stick can have a unique opportunity to expand your baseball experience. A special visit to the We Are Baseball exhibition. And what it is, it's really a cutting-edge collaboration, baseball and technology. So there's a lot of features like virtual reality, an original IMAX movie. We saw them setting that up as we came in. There's a big IMAX stage set up out there. This is rolled as shortstop. Loretto And Brito beats it out to get the force on Oscar Hernandez. But this is going to be quite a show here. It starts Saturday. The Baseball Hall of Fame's We Are Baseball Tour. Virtual reality, an original IMAX movie, specially curated artifacts from the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. So come on out here on Saturday, fans. Bring the kids. That's going to be a great day. The We Are Baseball Tour, direct from Cooperstown, right in the parking lot here at Salt River Field.
Yeah, we're told that Babe Ruth's 714th home run ball will be on that display. Also, the catcher's mitt that Yogi Berra wore to catch Don Larsen's perfect game. So a lot of good stuff to check out while you're out here at the ballpark.
And the Diamondbacks that day have a 1-10 start against the Giants with Robbie Ray on the mound. So that'll be quite a baseball day on Saturday. Weather should be good. We'll see out here.
Apparently they have some kind of a virtual reality home run derby. Not sure exactly how that works, but I know that some of the young kids out there say, what do you mean you don't know?
That's where you put the goggles on, right?
Yeah. And maybe you get to face different pitchers. I don't know.
Well, Lugo lifts one into the air to center field. Bergman is there. That's the second out.
I felt like I was in an alternate reality many times facing certain pitchers around the major leagues, but virtual reality, never been there.
Evan Marzilli, last man standing. Don't forget, we are back with you on television tomorrow. A 1-10 start. Zach Greinke's second start this spring against Team Mexico. And then TV games Friday and Saturday. Taijuan Walker against the Brewers Friday afternoon. Robbie Ray against the Giants Saturday afternoon. Marzilli gets a hold of one, and it's off the wall in dead center. Brito comes around to score. Evan Marzilli in at third with an RBI triple.
The ball blasted to straightaway center field, over the fence, but not over the batter's eye. It needs to get all the way up there where the cactus are for a home run. Evan Marzilli with an RBI triple.
And Bob Melvin is going to have to make a pitching change to get that final out in a 21-13 game in the ninth. Back with more from Scottsdale after this. In Scottsdale, with the Diamondbacks trail the A's 21-13 with 2 outs, bottom 9. It'll be up to Josh Thole to keep things going against the new A's pitcher. This is Simon Castro. Wanted to get the final out. His numbers from AAA last year. Evan Marzilli's at third after his RBI triple. Diamondbacks have scored 3 in the home half of the ninth. And here's Josh Thole. We do have a Suns game tonight coming up on Fox Sports Arizona, so at some point we will have to move things along. Suns pregame live is coming up soon.
Hey, as long as we've got outs left in the ball game, we're still playing baseball. Come on, Josh.
A ball and 2 strikes. Shadow creeping its way across the pitcher's mound now. Two and 2. Christopher Negron would be next. That time he went, and that's the ball game. Well, the Diamondbacks led 5-0 after 1 inning, but Oakland turns in an 11-run 6th, and they hang on to win a nail-biter 21-13.
Yeah, this is one of those games we talk a lot about watching the videotape. This would probably be a good one for the pitchers not to look at.
The A's with 21 runs on 17 hits. No shortage of offense on a long afternoon in Scottsdale. We are back with you tomorrow, 1 o'clock on the air, Arizona time. Zach Greinke makes his second start this spring against Team Mexico as they prepare for the World Baseball Classic. For my partner Bob Brenly, I'm Steve Berthiaume. Not quite the best in a million universes here today. 21-13 a final. We'll see you tomorrow with Zach Greinke on the Hill.